I've never been in
light
IKEA.
gray. Nisa
All
gray
right.
is better than Cyber gray.
Hey, Internet! Hi, my name is Todd, and we're going to be playing some Dungeons & Dragons. I'm going to be the DM. Today is episode, I think... Wait, I'll do this with the appropriate gravitas. Episode 29 of our Strange Acquaintances homebrew campaign. It is an interactive D&D game, and yeah, you can join us live on Twitch, Instagram, or Facebook. No, not Facebook. YouTube, because only old people use Facebook, like me. So anyway, you're welcome to jump in live and make suggestions in chat and say hey. If it's your first time here, make sure you click the button and say hey, support us, and follow all that jazz. You can also find all our stuff on the podcasts. All the podcasts, all the places. Strongly recommend jumping in at the beginning of one of these campaigns, including this one, or Steve's campaign, the Shadowrun campaign, which is a great time. So we are alternating back and forth, and just a quick bit of housekeeping. Next week I am away, but I think Steve might be doing something, so go check out his channel, and you can always check out Darcy on Darcy's channel, and I think that's all the things. I'm going to go say hi to the table. Hi, table.
Hi, Todd.
Hi. Well, yeah, you can tell I just had I shotgunned a coffee like 45 minutes ago, so I'm like peeking. All right, so we're just going to quickly introduce and go around the table and get right back into it, because this is episode 29. You heard enough about me, so let's go up here and talk to Timely.
Hello, I'm Timely, and my pronouns are she, her, and I am playing Hilda Bonebraid, who is a dwarf paladin. Story goes that she is now eagerly awaiting word from her parents after telling them of her new adventuring lifestyle after flunking out of med school.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. I meant to do this earlier, but out of curiosity, what town do her parents live in? Like, is it Tasvarell?
Oh, let me see if I wrote it down on my Roll20 bio.
You might have, but even if you have, it's okay to change it to the most interesting choice, which may or may not be Tasvarell. That's up to you.
It's true. You could pop right in. Oh, it might be. Either way, they might be traveling. I don't know.
Well, I would think that I went to school in a different city, but Tasvarell is probably somewhere that I could
Fair
be
enough.
familiar with.
All right, so thank you.
Or it could be like you grew up somewhere else, but you went to university in Tasvarell. Out.
Yeah, it's true.
But you haven't met your parents
That
yet.
does make sense.
And so that's why they're coming to visit you on Parents' Day. And so we need to get back to Tasvarell really quickly, so that Hilda can be there for when her parents show up, and we can all together pretend she's still in medical school and we're her classmates.
I think I want to do this.
I would love
screw
to do that.
all of my notes.
I just don't know how we would all learn that is a thing we need to try and do. But otherwise, yes.
We just
this is
be
exactly
walking
the kind
and
of D&D that I want to be part of.
Congratulations,
I think
folks.
that's
You
perfect.
just sidelined my entire plan. And I love it. I love it. All right, let's keep going around the horn.
That's today? You suddenly wake up within a cold sweat and a realization.
There's just a really bored clerk whose entire job is to send out like 2 or 3 sending spells a day. Be like, hello, you are cordially invited to...
Parents' Day at Tasvarell University.
Go Tasvarell Tigers. All right, let's keep going around the horn. Gordon, who are you, and what do you want to do today?
Hey, Gordon playing, I guess, still 2 characters. Playing Talathar, who's a paladin who has found himself with this motley crew as he's traveled with them and is on the same mission. And then also playing Rook, who an OG member of the Strange Acquaintances and has reunited with his compatriots.
Absolutely. So I'll pop the other card in there in a bit, but yeah, both of them on deck and back in the action. All right, let's jump over to Steve.
Hey, still playing Gex Chetford. Yeah, he's just old and cranky and adventure happy. But more importantly, also playing the resident copywriter for ads. So if anyone, players, watchers, have something they would like advertised, just shout it out. I find I get more into writing, fleshing out the ad idea when the idea is not my own.
It's fair enough.
Have you done an ad for Tasvarell University yet?
Ooh,
Recruit prospective students.
Okay.
Tasvarell Tigers.
Tasvarell Tigers.
While we're on that topic, I think what we've just decided is that Hilda has canonically attended U of T.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Oh yeah,
That's fair. University of Tasvarell.
UOT.
I didn't even think of it as an analog for Toronto, where most of us met.
I
But that
mean,
is funny. That works. That works. And you know what? The undertow, definitely Scarborough. I mean,
Hey now, I resemble that comment.
it's just part wasteland. Just only part. All right. I shouldn't talk. I'm a Westie, so I'm going to get some hate mail on that one. All right. So let's keep going around the horn. Darcy, what do you do? How do you do?
hi everyone, I'm Darcy. They them pronouns following Timothy's suit. Good reminder. I always forget to do that.
Absolutely.
I'm playing Empty Wisdom, who was a monk who didn't really fit in with the rest of the monks and has now started to dabble in druidism after the events of the campaign. Go watch the campaign. It's good. It's a good show.
Hey, I agree.
And yeah, she has not been extremely, let's say, militaristic, for lack of a better term, other than the spirit that resides within her. And now everyone's talking about storming the castle, metaphorically speaking. So we'll see how that shakes out today.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know if there's actually a castle. We are definitely doing some storming.
Have fun storming. I need that sound effect now. All right.
It's a good
I
one.
watched that movie last night.
Yeah, it's such a good movie. Here's a pro tip from my wife. Don't watch it when you've got like a 39-degree fever when you're young, because it's terrifying.
Oh.
Because it's like fever dream, like.
Uh,
Oh, I just remembered something, but I'll do that when it's my turn again. I have a story. Maybe I'll tell it at break. A story from traveling, and it is incredibly embarrassing, and I'm willing to share it with y'all. All right, let's keep going around the horn. Brandon, I think you're up next.
Hola. My name is Brandon. He, him pronouns. I am playing Eli Eckhart, who is a half-elf wizard, a young little fellow who just lost his grandma and I think is about to fast-track the grieving process.
You jumped right to anger.
These guys, yeah. To help everyone metaphorically storm the castle. So
I think that's
we'll
the
see.
stages, right? It's like denial, anger, storm the castle, roll for initiative. I think that's how I deal with grief, right?
Yeah, that's what they teach at U of T.
It's
In
probably
the medical department. Yeah.
the psychiatry component.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, and top left on my screen, Matt.
I am playing Balin of the Clan Iron Eater, dwarven crafter, and he's the first generation of dwarves born in the reclaimed halls of Illifarn, and he's set out on adventure looking to reclaim lost dwarven lore and artifacts.
I think,
And
in
that
our
was the party hero
analogy,
to rescue him from the belly of a worm.
the Lost Hills of Illitharn is like probably a Collingwood kind of analog. Am I right?
Sure.
I got one chuckle.
Unmuted.
I appreciate the pity chuckle. All right.
Oh no,
know,
that
more
wasn't
like,
pity.
you know-
That was actual legit.
They have caves there. Awesome. And thank you again for joining us. And that brings us back around now. The voice speaking from beyond and up beyond, the Bloor Viaduct, Bella.
Yes, in the pithy Scarborough Center. Hi, I'm Bella, and I am playing, I believe it's Isolde for this game.
It is.
I never know.
Mhm.
I never know.
Why?
And gosh damn it, this is a no rook zone. If you haven't
Not
seen,
a fan.
if you have not seen the image that was drawn last week, I don't know if you can do this, Todd. and if we have
remind me,
permission
I'll
from
throw it up after
Timely,
the break.
It needs to go up to show
If-
everybody.
If you could
'cause
send that to me, Timely, at some
Classic.
point, I'll throw it up on the stream
Classic.
for all to enjoy. And don't forget to follow the various people because they have amazing stuff. I always try my best to is it retweet? I don't know, on Instagram, so you can always check us out there and also make suggestions. And I think that's all the players, and that is me. So let's dive in and play some Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, I almost did it again. Let me make sure the mics are live. There we go. Okay. And now. The dawn comes. You've had a long rest. It is glorious. It's every bit as glorious as you remember an entire night's sleep. Uninterrupted. It was absolutely amazing. All of you are now level 10, just in case anybody missed that. You managed to defeat an attack by the Beholder and Tasvarell and his various minions. And you've learned a lot. You freed the captive, Torig, and you managed to have a little bit of time for yourselves as you reconnect. Oh, and we're going to pause for 1 second while Darcy shares that image. Thank you, Darcy. I appreciate that. We talked about it earlier.
This is Timely's, not mine. I realized I could pull it up pretty quickly.
Fantastic. Thank you. No rooks. So.
There she is. Okay, I'm done.
All right. Thank you.
Sorry.
It's good. Immediate feedback. I love it. All right.
It probably flipped, didn't it? Because
No,
it
it's all
flips
good.
on my
I
end
can read
only.
it.
That's how
Yeah.
that flipping works. Discord's weird. It flips it for you in your preview, but not in the actual thing you're sending. So
I think it's so when you're
Anyway.
lefty, righty. Anyway, so you've all
I get
managed
it. I get it. It just
to meet up, to get a good night's sleep, to reconvene yourselves. You've hiked your way, I forgot, you've hiked your way down to the smuggler's town. You've reconnected with Jimmy and Captain Derek and Lesrin, the lizard folk ambassador. And you are all down by the docks when you see the governor and her cadre approaching. You've also got the captive that was that you have managed to free, almost killing him in the process, removing that massive red crystal from the forehead. He's got this massive pucker of a scar and probably a bit of a speech impediment. Seriously, that thing is a giant spike in the brain. But he is alive. Torig, the one-time ally of Gordon, still ally now, re-ally of Gordon, once played by Carl. We miss you, Carl. Much love. But our table's full, so let's just keep going. So you have reconvened at the docks, and you have a decision to make. Strange acquaintances. What do you want to do?
I think like Rook would know from like escaping. How many were down there? Like how many baddies? Are we talking like dozens or like a dozen, or are we talking like hundreds? Like when he broke out.
I would say, since you don't ever need to sleep, you probably saw dozens. Multiple dozens, though. Probably on the...
And he probably assessed them a little bit. Like, I guess what he's trying to gauge is if the group here were to teleport back, is it just complete suicide, or would they stand a chance to catch?
I'm gonna get you to do a retroactive perception check for me with advantage, because you spent a lot of time there.
Okay.
Sorry, Balin, just gotta go visit the John real quick.
He says, running off to a little hut by the dockmasters. It's really just a formality. It empties right into the water.
21.
Oh, no.
21. Okay.
Immediately spits out the water I was drinking.
Yeah, you're all like... 21.
I honestly just thought of things you don't do when you approach the border. Run off to the bathroom is number one. Just pro tip, everybody.
And ironically, that story is going to come back on break when I tell my travel story. Anyway, that's what we call a teaser.
That checks out.
All right, so Rook, you know that there are sections of that lair which have been rigged with traps, and they are incredibly deadly. There are several amongst those several dozens down there. Probably about half of them are imprisoned magic users with the crystals embedded in their foreheads in various cages. The other half are inquisitor types, like warrior types, who are voluntarily there. And then, of course, you've got the monsters themselves. So that it'd be at least several dozen on top of the specific monsters you've seen, and some that you haven't. You've seen all manner of creatures, some undead, things that have no right working together ever. You saw a really wide range of things, everything from gnolls, ogres. You've seen, you're pretty sure you saw some kind of chimera at one point. You're pretty sure you saw, well, you've seen the Oni, several, like lots of Naga, several different kinds of them, including the undead kind, the bone Nagas. Those were some of the more common creatures serving Cathvaran. I think that's like the third different way I'd pronounce that. Anyway, we're going to keep going. Handway.
Relay that to everyone. That's kind of what we're up against. So if we go, we need like an exit strategy, like a way to get out, just in case.
Who is this again? Why would we want to go? That sounds like not a place we want to go.
Unfortunately, my cape only has the ability to transport 2 people.
Well, I think our reason for wanting to go is that we are being hunted as a group and probably individuals, and ideally when one is being hunted, one gets into a little bit of role reversal and hunts the hunter first. You know, the best defense is a good offense. Some sportsman guy said that, I think.
But we don't have to be the only ones that go. I mean, the teleportation circle can bring a lot of people. And I think we've made some friends that can maybe fend off the smaller people while we go track down the beholder.
Do the people that you're talking about wanting to be transporting need to be willing participants.
I'm
How
going to
many
say for
people?
my own ethical standards, yes.
Nice.
Although,
I think we would get a better chance if the people who also transported with us had some idea that they would need to fight with us.
So scratch Operation Cannon Fodder. Okay.
Empty looks down at the like weird mushroom person, the like small mushroom person that's next to her, maybe in her arms. I don't know how big they are in your mind. Probably actually kind of only like baseball size or great. That's one more like a grapefruit that I motioned. And I believe they only speak and understand Druidic. So if I speak to them, no one else is going to understand. But I look down. I go, do you think more people like you would come? This is all new to me, but
It answers
You have friends
by
we could ask?
reaching into its own stomach and pulling off
Sure.
a little chunk of itself and holding it up towards you.
cool. Are you okay? Is that okay? And just I do that thing where. Have you ever seen that bit
and it
where
goes-
it's like if you just hand something to somebody, they will always take it?
Yeah, and it
No
kinda
matter what
goes-
You're holding it. Yeah.
And these spores go. Some of the spores land on the little chunk, and with a few seconds, it starts to begin to take the mushroomy shape itself.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. So from the outside, everyone else just hears like empty and this like mushroom just kind of like.
You want to get high?
Something like that. I don't know if it, like cuts through the conversation. Everyone just sort of stops and looks at her for a second, or if people just kind of talk over that. Up to you.
I think Alvar is going to take a just look and just go, what? And then go back to the group and say, listen, we've got a couple options. We could go back to Kalron and finish our mission. Get Lesrin, go back, get reinforcements. And then he turns to Torek. Torek, you can cast it from whenever, right? We could go back to Kalron and then cut to, like, with some reinforcements, right?
Aye, we can make that happen. I'm a little tired still, but I can get us there. I can also take us right into the mix. It's your call.
But could you do two? Could you take us to Kalron? We get reinforcements and then take us in? Or is it one or the other?
I can probably do that.
So guys, we could go right now. It's a bit more risky. Or we can go back to Kalron and crew, get more Mage Order buddies, and then strike.
I'm in favor of gaining some more mage order buddies.
I was just gonna suggest these guys, and he kind of points to like all the pirates behind him, and it's like, we got all this, and he kind of hushes down like, we got a lot of stuff from the thing that fell out of the Oni's bag. I can only imagine what's in the actual lair. I'm sure if they heard that there was a lot of loot there, they'd willingly sign up. But mages are probably a better idea than
Smugglers and
Why not?
pirates.
yep.
I say both
the
are a
mages-
good idea.
Yeah.
All of the
Okay.
above. Project Cannon Fodder.
I haven't fully understood what's happening, but weren't the mages just the ones that were trying to kill all of us?
Yep, they were, which is exactly why we're going to pick a fight on their behalf with someone else.
Okay. Well, I want to come with everyone. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I've been in the same place my whole life, and I think this is a chance to reach out to something new. I hold the staff in one hand and the mushroom in the other, and it's like, I think I've found something that speaks to me. Depending on I don't know how big the circle you're planning on making is, but I think I can bring some reinforcements. How long do we have?
The teleportation is kind of instantaneous, right?
There's only so many people that can go in the teleport.
Teleport circle? I think it's however many people can run through it in one turn. Which is a lot if you organize.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay. This is me as a player, I guess, because other people in the party would probably just know this and think about it. But is there a size requirement? Could, for example, a Tarask go through, just hypothetically, or would their toenail get stuck? That kind of thing.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna have to check the spell. Hold on. Okay, shimmering portal opens within the circle.
It could be whatever you think. You're the GM, and
any creature that enters it instantly appears within 5 feet of the destination. So, I mean, if it's a Tarask and it enters after the rest, it's gonna crush them. But besides that, I mean, it's got to fit within 5 feet of it. So, I suppose
what counts as entering the space is the question, right? If you overlap the space, did you enter the space, right?
That is the next.
I guess that's sort of the question.
Yeah. I would say basically, however many people can run through the circle in a turn, which is a lot.
Because I want to bring a huge creature. Is the thing.
Yeah, it would work, but it's going to take up a bunch of space that a bunch of mediums could take up.
Well, I mean, practically, if some people run through and then continue to run and clear the space on the other side.
Yeah, it's like escalator rules.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool.
Occupied space nearby next to the other.
Great. Okay. I mean, empty's centerpiece. Carry on.
It's about then, Elias.
You were talking.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Balin.
Well, you were talking about your little mushroom friend there. I've got, again, my bag of weird mushrooms. I have no idea what to do with them. They're yours now. Enjoy. I'm regifting. I figure you have more of a connection to it than I do.
Raise the mushroom army.
Did you get these from some... Okay, thank you.
They were gifted to me by the Minotaur from the town, and I know nothing about mushrooms. To me, these are just tasty snacks, I figure you might have more of a use for them.
Hi.
Hello, little guy.
You can... Hopefully they're not offended by this being, dead friends or something. I don't know.
Nothing a little spore breath can't fix, right?
I am gonna write that down on my my sheet here, which is
these are the
bag
notes
of miscellaneous mushrooms. And then I will not remember where I got these from, but I have written them down.
Yeah, I think the only information Todd gave me is it's like a bag of soggy mushrooms, and other than that, I got
They're
no
soggy.
idea. What's
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Excellent.
Moist.
Moist. Let's all say
mushrooms.
moist.
Moist.
I think Talvar's gonna look at Elias I don't know these pirates. I don't know if they would help us, and I don't know how trustworthy they are. You guys met them for 2 days. So if you want to talk to them and see if they're interested, okay, let them know the danger. But we should probably go either real soon to take the element of surprise, because sooner or later I think that beholder's going to get wise, or we go to Calron, raise more people and go through. But we should actually move pretty quickly. Like, that beholder's not dumb, it's going to figure it out. That's sooner or later.
I think Eli's right. I think Eli's right. You got in good with the governor, right? She seemed to like you. I think probably we could convince some of them.
I don't suppose there's a way for you to go and come back and then we all go together. Because ideally, if we could have both groups, but...
At that, Torig pipes up. I got bad news about that. I can't bring us back here. Again, I can take us to a circle that I know. And I know at least 2 in Tasvarell. One with the Mage Tower. The other one's down below.
Well, how about if... No,
I don't have to
I guess
go
that doesn't
through.
work.
I could stay here. Send others through.
Right. Yes. Okay, so you're here. Someone goes through the portal, gets mages, and one of them meets us there. We come from 2 portals? Could that work? Or can they not connect to the other circle?
There's a handful
Why
of
are we-
mages that are high enough power to actually come directly back here. Very few, though. I think I know, like...
I don't mean here. I mean, like, to where we're going. Can you not tell
it's
them how
the
to
same
get there?
town.
Okay.
I think, Talithar, this is your situation and you know what's best, so let's go do the mages.
I suggest going to the mages, because from what Brooke just said, there is still a lot of enemies down there, and I don't know of a very good exit plan beyond Torig creating another teleportation circle if we have to get out of Dodge.
Yep, so I'm okay with that.
I want to point out
Unless-
something. I'm not quite up to fighting strength right now. I mean, I can come if you want, but I'm not gonna be punching my weight class.
No. You've done enough, Torig. So that means
I'll
that
do
if
what I
you-
can.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so exhausted and damaged. I think this is like the 3rd different accent I've done. In at least as many games.
It's the language
What's
part
it-
of the brain.
He's speaking only in Dwarven now. He's down to just 1.
So I think, like, show of hands, but like, Talithar is for going to the Mage Tower, completing the mission, getting Lestrin back, and getting people, and then attacking in the same day.
Eli's gonna second it.
Third.
One
Does
day?
anyone
Okay.
think there'd be an advantage with going right now? Or do we lose an advantage? And I don't know if anyone has any insight to this, or if Rook has insight to this. Like, what do we lose by spending several hours gathering the troops?
I do think that we have someone who can divine the future, don't we?
Do you want to cast something there, Elias?
I mean, I don't know if I have an ability that could
There
do
are some
that.
spells. There are a couple of spells
Yeah,
that'll allow you to get a good idea of a particular path.
Right.
The 2 of them are augury and divination. I don't know if you have either one of those prepared, but it's a new day, so you still can switch it up if you want.
I don't even think I took them. I think they might be out of my... I don't have augury.
Much to the shame of your grandma.
I think it's not like a wizard spell, weirdly.
Yeah, it's a cleric spell, technically.
Yeah. Although they might have like given it to wizards with Tasha's or something. They added a bunch of extra spells to the spell list in Tasha's if you want to play with those rules.
I think
That's
a
a whole other
divination
thing.
wizard should be able to figure out, like...
So, yeah.
I'm going to give you augury as a class feature.
Yeah,
that is yours now.
I'll cast it. Yeah.
Okay.
That seems super fair.
While he's casting it, Other will turn to like Lestrin and now even just ask, like, what do you think of the situation? Do you want to enter this risk, or we can take you back first?
Sorry, who are you asking?
Lestrin.
My mission is to speak with the head of the mage order. But I trust you. I don't know them. That is... I think my masters would be able to be of assistance in time. If the negotiations go well. The lizard folk man stands there kind of wrapped in their cloak, kind of sea battered. There's you hear the seagulls, and the ship is pretty much ready to sail as well, which is another option if you want it. So Elias, what does your augury seem like? Is it roll the bones? Is it what kind of token? Are you reading tea leaves? How do you do this?
Let's see. I think it would be, he used the coin before, so I think heads would be good, tails would be bad, and then on its side, good and bad.
All right. Okay, so by casting gem-inlaid sticks, rolling dragon bones, laying out ornate cards, or employing some other divination tool, a coin, you receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take in the next 30 minutes. The DM chooses one of the following possible omens: a wheel for good results, woe for bad results, wheel and row for both good and bad results, or nothing. It doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change during the outcome, such as casting of additional spells, etc. If you would like... Oh, there's a 25% chance of that you get a random reading if you cast it too many times in a row. So, you would like to cast Flip Your Coin? Go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me.
23.
Ooh,
Nice.
damn. All right, so you flick the coin. It hits the ground and starts spinning around, and it spins longer than any normal coin should, just as part of the magic. And all around you, you feel this gust of wind begin to shove, and yet the sounds of the seabirds and everything fade away for a moment as you stare at this coin. What is it specifically, the course of action you want to test? Going to see the mages?
Or going right.
You kind of have to pick which path does this flip apply to.
So,
And it only looks at 30 minutes, yeah.
I'm gonna look at Talithar and let him, like, whatever your question is, I'm gonna basically
The question
channel
is
it.
if we go right now to attack the beholder. Because if it's not a good omen, then we're going to go to the mages.
Okay.
Makes sense.
All right. So as it spins, and it takes a while before it actually settles out, and then... Whoa.
To the mages we go.
Now, you're welcome to test that outcome as well, but there's a 25% chance you're going to get some randomness.
Whoa, huh? Yeah. No, there's as whatever element of surprise we would get additional. It looks like there's a lot of traps. Like Rook will pipe in, like the beholder was also weaker here. He has more power in his lair. So we might get the drop on him, but between him and other deadly traps and all his minions, he would actually be at a disadvantage without reinforcements.
So you're saying Project Cannon Fodder Mage Virgin.
And Talthar will just pipe up and say, like, well, I wouldn't call them cannon fodder. There's some powerful mages and they can grab mercenaries. With the mages, we might be able to actually free other prisoners.
Mm.
Sounds good to me.
So Dollar Alternate Alliance. So that was woe, right?
Yeah.
Woe for us. Not
Yeah.
Woe for
I think it's about time we start drawing that or start casting that teleportation circle.
All right. I'll get right to it. Gather what you need. I won't do the last sigil until you're ready to roll.
All right.
Excuse me, what the hell do you think you're doing? You hear the gravelly voice of the matronly governor coming down the dock. She's got about 6 people kind of in her group with her as she's walking down. I have not come down to the little dock in a long time. It is a shithole. And yet, here you are. So, what's going on, everybody?
Oh, attacked by a beholder and a bunch of monsters.
Yep.
All
There is an Omni.
Talthar will say.
She kind of looks from person to person to try to judge if it's actually real that you just said.
Does she want to roll for perception?
She kind of sees the stony face looks and kind of shrugs. All right. Well, my sources have been saying that lots of weird stuff has been happening out there. I've got 3 ships that are late. I've got crews that are getting too drunk because they're here too long. Some people telling me that it's maybe not safe in the South Passage right now. So I thought I'd get a word from you. She looks over at Elias.
So, I think we may have stumbled across something big, and we're going to go deal with that. You're welcome to join us, but I don't think you would want to, because from what I've gleaned from my short visit in your abode is that you pirate types value your lives.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, little guy. You're in my town. And I need a favor. And I'm gonna ask nice once. So, I need you to tell me, do your little thing, and tell me whether the South Passage is open or not. And me and my boys are gonna wait right here till you're ready to tell us.
Okay.
Divination.
Yeah.
Exxon. Demand here.
You walk into my
Oh.
town with talents. I put them to use.
I'm aware.
Or you don't walk out.
That part I was not aware of. I'm gonna flip the coin again.
One of the mercenaries that's with her is the big minotaur who kind of looks around, notices Balin there's like, gives you a little nod. Then goes back to trying to look tough.
I give him a subtle nod back.
So I'm gonna flip the coin, but I'm not gonna cast augury.
Okay. I'm going to get you to roll deception, please.
Okay.
Can they take advantage?
Why?
Because this is like they are performing. They know exactly what actions to.
Oh yeah, I would let you
performing for
roll
this exact
either
thing.
performance or deception, actually.
Oh, okay.
It's the
I tried.
same.
It's the same. Oh.
God
Oh.
damn it!
Yeah, that's a nat one.
Oh. Oh.
So the coin is... And she steps on it. And she grabs you by the scruff of the neck and like shoves you back so you're just on your heels dangling over the edge of the dock. And she's like, listen, I appreciate what you've done, but I don't want you pulling any of your bull. I need to know. And if it takes a month sitting in my dungeon to soften you up, that's what it'll be.
Okay, look, here's the situation. Okay, I've been nothing but honest, but I need my magic to go kill this thing, and if we kill this thing, then the South Passage will be clear. That's a pretty logical line of events. So I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Did you want to do something?
He'll just been listening, so he'll kind of step forward and like right up to the Minotaur, the biggest, whoever's the biggest.
The Minotaur, yeah.
Probably still looking down on the Minotaur, I'm going to assume.
It's pretty eye to eye. You're not that
Get-
huge.
Yeah,
It's a big
well,
thing.
even better. So he'll get kind of nose to nose with it, and then like look ever so slightly, like just turning his head towards her, and saying, "Listen, you really need to put him back down right now because we just finished telling you that we, as a group, this group here, just annihilated a bunch of legendary creatures of the magnitude that it would take so long to describe that if we did, you'd probably pee yourself. And yet, you want to stop us from going and finishing the job, which would make your village safe. I just don't understand that. So I'm not really going to try to understand that, because if you couldn't have gleaned that this is a benefit for you to just get out of our way, we'll just make you get out of our way because we just made all of them get out of our way.
She gives a look, and I need you to roll either athletics or acrobatics, please.
Well, we'll just do some acrobating here. 21, dirtily.
That beats 15. So at a single glance from her, the Minotaur, whose arms have been crossed, just kind of doesn't even uncross them, just raises them and cross-checks you, trying to shove you in the river. And you easily sidestep it. And
Can I counter and just let his moment, like just kind of give him an extra shove so his momentum takes him?
I would give you a
into
chance
the
to try
river?
that, but it's an athletics check on your part.
Okay. A 21 again.
That is a 21 tie. So it's rollies. Roll one more time, sir.
Come on. Give me something good. Nat 20.
Oh, 7.
Oh,
Oh, the Minotaur. There's this moment of like shifting and like, and you just pivot at the right moment, just your hip into it, and just with a snort and a splash, the Minotaur goes over the side. You're kind of
like
just on your back heel, but you're still okay. All right. Anybody else want to do anything? I'm not going to make you roll initiative quite yet.
Talthar is actually going to say enough to everybody. He's going to look at like the pirate captain. We just told you that there's a lot of crazy monsters. Yes, the South Passage is not safe. We have friends in the water and they're saying it's not safe. That's why we're not in the water. We're teleporting out of here to finish the job.
She kind of go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me, or intimidation, or deception. It's your call.
Yeah.
Not deception.
It's true.
It's just a real thing. It's true.
Oh, that was like an intimidating voice, so he'll go intimidation.
Sure.
Okay.
13.
She looks nonplussed as she's still holding Elias, and she's just looking back at you, Talithar. She's like, well, no offense, Mr. Shiny Pants, but I'd rather hear from the one I know can do the magics. So, what's it gonna be, Skinny?
I'm gonna ask her.
And now
to move
she's
her boot.
got a dagger out.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Just
ask
in
her
her hand,
to,
just to make a point.
Yeah. Okay, if you can go ahead and just uncover the coin, please, so I can see it.
She pulls back, pulling you back onto the dock, kind of letting you stand, and then she's like, and she whispers in a way that only those with a high passive and just Elias can hear, as she whispers, "You lied to me again. I'll take one of your eyes." And she moves her boot.
Okay, what is it currently?
Are you spending this spell slot? It's level 2.
Just currently, like as she stepped on it, like what did it land on? Like,
sure. Let me
roll.
It's on woe.
Woo.
Okay. I'm gonna. She's holding me, right?
She's let you go now, and taken half a step back, but she's poised and ready.
Yeah, let's just play it safe. Let's just do the augury.
It does take about a minute to cast, as you're like, I didn't make you do that before, but you're like prepping the coin and like channeling the magics and so on. So you scoop it up.
I mean, that's a really good point. Does that mean that he could also cast it as a ritual? And not cast.
I don't know.
We kind of just gave him this ability, so like,
Yeah.
you don't.
I mean, technically,
give it all
you can
away, but
cast it as a ritual, but it would take
it's a ritual
lot longer.
spell, so
It would be. It would
Right,
take
so-
longer then. That's all. It would
Yeah.
take up to
Yeah.
about 11 minutes. But
right.
you could try to persuade her.
I need my eyes, and I just rolled a nat 1. Let's not take that much of a chance.
Your dice is
That's
pre-disastered now, so it's good.
You
You're also a
shut
wizard.
the
You can get
demon.
spell slots back on a short rest.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. What could possibly?
Yeah, you can. I can cure wounds on your eye.
As this is all going down,
Yeah.
I'm going to preemptively take my short bow and invoke its right, just in case.
So you just kind of reach behind you and run your hand along that really sharp bowstring and just,
Yeah.
or that sharp spot on the handle, whichever way you prefer.
That is what I do.
The blood coats your string, and you're ready to roll.
I'll just smile at her and be like, okay. We can all be ready.
All right, Elias, the spell takes effect. And you flip your coin. Go ahead and roll any dice. It's evens and odds for you. Well, actually, no, roll Arcana again. We'll do this the same way. I've already rolled to see the results are accurate
11.
or not. 11. All right. The dice spins, and what is it you are seeking clarification for?
Is the South Passage like good to travel through?
This time it's unambiguous and it's faster. As soon as you make that clear thing, the coin itself, almost like a magnet, it's like hits the dock, rolls a little, and then just goes hard slap as whoa.
There you go. It's a bad idea, as we did not need to use magic to tell you that. Sorry, I'm getting a bit lippy. I'm just a bit anxious. It's not safe. If you let us go, we're about to hopefully remedy this situation. The faster we do it, the faster you'll be able to sail.
By now, the Minotaur's climbed back out and sopping wet and is just kind of glaring at Gex, but biting his...
I'd even give the Minotaur
cut.
a handout, you know.
Nice. The
boy.
The governor's standing there with their arms crossed, kind of tapping her foot, looking at everybody. And then she relaxes. All right, then. See, that wasn't so hard. So, we won't go south yet. You say you might be able to open the way? I got 10 shipments of things that shall not be named waiting. Is it a fight you're walking into?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mhm.
I don't have that many to spare, but I can pass the word. We can see if anybody's willing to go with you
Hopefully, like quickly.
for the right price.
Whoa. So we're doing you a favor here, though. It's your tens of thousands of gold merchandise that's stuck. We've got no financial stake. Why are we paying you to help you free up your own shipments? Can you explain that one?
Go ahead and roll persuasion there, Balin. I don't do anything for free. And I don't expect others to
We
do the
don't
same.
either. Or at least I don't. You got some valuable dwarven merchandise up in that little tower there, all right? If we want to talk about, you know, who owes who what. I got a 10.
Okay. So she kind of gives you this little like, All right. Tell you what, we'll call it even. You get that passage open, you're welcome here as our honored guests anytime. Free passage. I'll even throw in a few of your trinkets.
Oh no, I look around at the rest of the crew here. What do you guys think of that?
I think that's probably great.
All right. So mechanically, how this is going to work, she puts out the word. You guys are gathering up. You got about, she's like, give me half an hour. And the word goes out pretty quick as she marches off back down, and like her various helpers go scuttling off into the village. They call out at the inn, the barracks, and so on. And mechanically, how this is going to work is everyone except Gordon is going to have an NPC volunteer. So you basically are all dueling down. A rogue or fighter archetype. They're only like, it's not really like super high level or anything. It's like level 5 technically. So if you want to roll it up officially or just approximate, that's totally fine. They're basically NPCs that you guys get to control and boss around. So go ahead and give them names and so on. And I'm going to guess who would like the besides him taking his little dip, the Minotaur is one of the ones that volunteers. So that's one, and the rest you get to make up.
Well,
Except for you,
before we,
Gordon,
like,
because
jump
you're already
ahead too
dueling.
much- Before we jump ahead too much, so they want to help us go clear this passage, which we have no intention of doing because we're trying to teleport directly to the boss fight, right?
She gathered that
If
whatever
this
it
takes
is that you're
30
up
minutes to do we just like bail?
I mean, you could, if you want, but the
Like,
idea
are
is
we
they're
just
going to
like,
send you
okay,
people
great, no, let's
to
send the word
accomplish
out.
your mission.
We'll be here, and then we just leave? Like, is that what's going to happen?
No,
I mean, you can.
we would. I think we know that we're not enough. We need numbers, and so
Mm-hmm.
if there's actually people who are going to sign up to fight this, fine. Let's take them and let's go to the mage tower, get some mages, and go take the fight.
But are they signing up to fight the Beholder? I thought is that the same thing?
Yeah, they're signing up to fight the Beholder.
Yeah.
I thought that was a different thing. Okay, great. Excellent. Sure.
The
No,
price
it's the
they're
Beholder.
they're
that's
trusting you
messing
that
everything
this
up
will clear the passage indirectly.
indirectly. Yeah.
Great. All right, cool. I didn't get any of that, but I'm fine with it. Great.
All right, so you
I
all
guess people
gather-
leave, and he probably is something like, "Aren't we in a hurry? Are we staying here? What's happening?" And then we just have that same conversation. Don't worry about it. Yeah, great. Works for me.
empty. You do have some time if there is any spells that you want to cast on. Oh, I don't know, the nearby trees, rocks, and so on.
I mean, that's a great question. Are we still heading to Tasvarell first? That was my understanding.
The mage tower in Tasvarell is the destination, as
Great.
far as I understand. That's up to
So
you.
I actually do want to ask, I guess, kind of the group because I don't know who I'd be asking specifically. So who have you all been to Tasvarell? What's it like? Should I know anything?
It's a classic university town. A lot of young people. Plenty of taverns. Some shops, magic shops. Got your mage tower. Got some underground areas. Pretty good party scene. Occasionally, there's some people that go a little bit astray down by the docks. That kind of thing.
What's the
Ag infestation from time to time.
I would like to think Gex
What's-
is literally reading this off the brochure.
to the University of Tasvarell.
Oh no. This is the brochure for University of Tasvarell.
That's typical, man.
Oh my god! End story. Wisdom goes to U of T.
That'd be great.
Anyway, we'll see if they live that long.
What's the plant life like? I can't really explain it, but I feel like I could. Well, I look down at this mushroom, look back up, maybe talk to the plants. I see what they're like there. Are they different?
I'm sure we could get you a job at the plant. They mostly just process fish and oil, though.
Not that kind of plant.
What?
So you're talking about nature plants. Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, there's plants.
If we can get something really big, I don't know if there's anything that's especially strong or
There's a
dangerous.
huge tree. There's a huge tree on the campus. I remember because everyone
Oh.
hangs out under it.
Well, maybe they'd help us.
There was a super extra massive tree inside the mage tower. It was colorful, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
There was.
If we have time, I think I could get it to help us.
Well, aren't we going there anyway?
Yeah.
Empty looks excited.
Where am I going? Says the big Minotaur. A little tiny hobo stick with a little satchel tied on the end. but instead of just a stick, it's a massive great axe. And anyone else that you want to envision as your NPC, you get basically a one break to top them up and figure out who they are, give them a nice backstory. At least one of them, I'm gonna say, has a secret that you actually, you know what? Invent a secret that each of them has. Everybody, your homework
I'm gonna
is
bust
a name.
out Shu. We're busting out Shu.
No.
Old time plan for a character that was gonna be a sailor on like a sunken like monster hunting vessel. Survived and washed up somewhere else. Let's do it. Shu's here today.
Amazing.
They're a pirate
These
now.
characters, Todd.
That
I only ever designed them at level 1, so
Yeah.
they'll have to be leveled up.
Yeah,
but
you're gonna
otherwise,
have to level them up. So
we'll get Shu in here.
absolutely. We'll say max level 5, whatever you want.
And like any things about race or
Surprise me.
and you said only fighter or rogue?
You know what? Within let's say, yeah, they're not gonna be super powerful. Like I will allow multi-classing in pretty much anything, but fighter or rogue have to be one of them because you gotta be a certain kind of way if you want.
So like a barbarian kind of thing.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay.
Well, I'm happy to play the Minotaur if no one else wants to take the Minotaur.
Nice, do it up.
You were closest with them.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I feel like we can do like a buddy cop arc.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. She was originally envisioned as a ranger, but I could see them being
you
like
can do ranger. I would allow,
rogue.
I would allow that.
Yeah.
Let's
So
keep
level
it simple.
5.
If you want ranger, ranger's fine. I'm
Yeah.
just thinking like, hey, you know what? Pretty much any class will be fine. You can find all stripes in this little smuggler's village.
I already created a fighter, so
Nice. All right. So we'll take
Cool.
stock. You all gather up with your new motley crew as the Strange Acquaintances just got bigger. And you're all kind of eyeballing each other awkwardly down by the docks. And Jimmy's like, good luck to you. We got Derek's drunk. I need to take care of him. And Lesserin looks around at all of you. Is like, should I come?
Yeah,
Sure, man.
of course.
don't you need to like do your thing?
I'm supposed to meet with the head of the Mage Tower.
Okay.
Yeah. Come with us then.
I'm going to say then, just due to the mechanics of the circle, who's going to take Lesserin as your NPC then?
Crap. I already created one, so
It could be a fighter. That's fine.
Well, I think the idea is that they would be coming through and then staying, right? They wouldn't actually be fighting because we're going to Tasvarell, dropping them off, and then going, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just try
Make
to
sure
get me a
I'm
headache.
understanding the
I get it.
logistics.
Now, does everybody have their buddy?
I mean, does one of us have to take Lesserin as the buddy, or like
No.
logistically?
I'll leave it up to
Okay.
you. I'll leave it up to you.
Cool. I mean, interestingly enough, from a like people standpoint, like Rook and Talithar don't have like additional buddy anyway, right? Because they're
It's
each
true.
others.
They are buddies.
So anyway,
All right. So, you know what? How about
they would be fun to have as a fighter, but I think Shu's the shine.
Shoe
so,
is too good.
unfortunately, it would be
I'm
fun to
super
have
excited about Shoe.
Lesserin be here.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I think this is a good place for us to take a quick little break. You'll be able to roll up your level 5 person. Let me know who they are when we come back, and then we will dive in. So we're going to take, 10? Let's take 10 minutes. So we're going to take a 10-minute break, and we'll be back. And Hey, interweebs, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And if you're doing this, do this thing. Hit the buttons. Help us out. Anyway, we'll see you next time. And we'll be back in 10 minutes. All right. I think we're going to jump back on and meet a whole new crew joining the Strange Acquaintances. Hey, if this is your first time around, don't forget to click the thing, join us up. We've also do podcasts, live videos, you name it, we're on. Anyway, let's do this. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the table. I made everybody make some new characters on the break because we don't have enough people to deal with. I don't know. All right, we'll figure it out. So let's go around the horn and meet the new Strange Acquaintances. Who wants to go?
Are we breaking down all our characters?
Well, you don't have to break it all down, but I need names as everybody's kind of standing around in this circle, waiting for Torg to finish the last of the etchings of the teleportation.
I'll do like
circle
a walk
that will
up.
take you all the way across the room. Sure.
So we see this sort of slender man, probably I don't know, mid-20s, early 30s. Who could say? Who could possibly say? Gray to silver hair, clean shaven except for like a long mustache that is sort of reminiscent of like catfish whiskers. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like sort of like the two long threads and nothing else really. And they're wearing like an open shirt with like clearly some kind of tattoo. I think it's probably a little bit hard to tell exactly what it is, like at just first blush, just because it's like part of it's are obscured with what shirt he is wearing. He says, "So I hear we're fighting monsters. Been too long. Sign me up." And he's got like an oversized bow, and like that's clearly been like reinforced, and some other accoutrement, especially like sailing gear. Like even if he's not going sailing, he's like the kind of guy who carries a sextant just in case. Do you know what I mean? Like he's that guy. Like I might end up on a boat and need to navigate something. I don't know. Yeah.
What that's my emergency sextant.
You got to have an emergency sextant. It's important. You never know when you're gonna get like marooned on an island and need to figure out what's going on. Is that useful? I don't know. Maybe. I've never used a sextant.
And they walk up and they meet Empty, and Empty's just looking. They just exchange looks. And Torg's like, "All right, everybody. This thing's only open for a second or two, so we're all gonna need to buddy up so that we don't leave anybody behind. So you two, you're together." And so that's how everybody's forced to have a buddy. And he points over to Talithar and Rook. It's like, "You two together, I'll take care of me and the big lizard guy. Hey you, divination boy. Who are you pairing up with?"
He's just kind of lost, not really know who to pick, and then a tall, muscular human wearing like half plate mail has a giant long sword on his back. Kind of steps up. He very stoic looking, doesn't look like he talks a lot, and he kind of steps forward and says, "Name's Jalen, and seems like a fun party to join."
Nice. All right, Jalen. I'm gonna throw that on as your NPC tracker. And by the way, Darcy, how do you spell shoe?
SHUU.
SHUU. All right. And so we got Jalen, we got SHUU, and human. That's all they get. They're only given those. All right, let's go with the next one. Steve, who you got?
His name is Crank E. Enormous Bear. And he's just a big bugbear, but he just looks like a bear. He doesn't really talk very much, and he's a barbarian. Essentially, he's just a barbarian polearm master.
Nice.
Pretty much his purpose.
Honestly, I live for this. This is exactly it. Awesome. All right, Gordon, we already got you. You got enough characters, Gordon. No more characters for Gordon. All right, Timely, who are you in with?
So Hilda is standing around, much like Eli was kind of just unawares of what's happening, and then suddenly a giant shadow kind of blocked her view of the sunlight, like she just cast in the shadow. She looks up, it's a half-orc, and then he gruffly looks at her. Name's Graham.
Graham?
Graham. Like the graham cracker.
Which is from the island of Graham. It is canon in this. All right, awesome. All right, thank you. And Bella.
Okay. Isolde's going to kind of look around and see just off to the side there a fire genasi just kind of looking around, not sure what to do, and say, "You, come with me." And she'll walk up and be like, "I'm Frizzle. Nice to meet you."
Nice. Love the name. Frizzle.
Frizzle, the fire genasi. And she has a big longsword attached to her back, and two hand axes in her, her each hip. And she just kind of walks up, smiles, and goes, "Let's do this."
Nice. All right. So who's next?
I'm imagining like a Miss Frizzle.
Yeah, from Magic School Bus.
Magic
Amazing.
School.
Oh, it's Frizzle.
I am now.
Yeah.
The hair actually works really, really well. Except she's wearing chainmail, so a little bit different than Miss Frizzle.
Miss Frizzle
Miss
would
Frizzle.
wear chainmail. It just would also be a
Frizzle
dress.
Is always prepared.
A chainmail dress. Chainmail dress, obviously.
Hey, she is always prepared. So don't mess with the frizz.
Oh, I love it. All right, let's keep going on the horn. Matt.
All right, so I've got the. I'm just using the standard Minotaur monster stats, and I just give him abilities for a 5th level barbarian. So given that he's a barbarian, he doesn't need to wear any armor. So I didn't make him any armor. I didn't burn a fabricate spell to do that.
Yeah,
and
that's
I'm just
fair.
going to go with the classic Minotaur name, Asterion.
How do you spell that? Is Mysterion?
Asterion.
Oh,
Like
spell
from
it for me.
from the Greek myth here.
Oh, see, I'm lost. So I forget how to spell that.
In the chat there.
Oh, all right, let me pull that up because I'm gonna mess that
Or I
up
could
if
just
I don't.
do it verbally. Asterion.
Asterion. Okay, absolutely. There we go. Done. Asterion. All right. Nice. Is that everybody? Did I miss anyone? No? All right. Everybody is NPC'd up because apparently that is how we're doing things tonight because I don't have enough people to track. All right. Keep track of your minions. They may come in handy.
Okay.
Everybody. All right, everybody. Stay with your buddy. Don't lose them. If you get lost, make sure you kiss your ass goodbye because you're probably gonna die. All right. Keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle. inside the circle at all times. Let's do this. You ready, Tal? All right. And the dwarf spins his staff over his head and just slams it down in the center of the circle with this as all the runes begin to illuminate just one at a time around in this arc, and then this blast of light sends up into the sky like it's goddamn metal night, and it's just like and it's lit up and everybody just charges into this circle. Parting thoughts as you dive in, anybody?
Well, I feel like Hilda's not so much. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Gord.
I would just say quickly,
I feel like...
you better be going to the right place.
Are you going to the right place?
I was thinking something similar. I really hope Torig's got his runes down today.
Why does everyone doubt Torig? It's not like we just pull the crystal out of his brain. Come on. It's gonna be fine.
I forgot my father's name and piano lessons, but I remember this rune. I've got this.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so it's just boom.
I feel like Hilda. I feel like Hilda's buddy's not even letting her like run at this point. Like they just have to her that back of her plate mail and like they just like charge her.
Just bum rush the teleportation circle with the dwarf paladin. That tracks. All right, there's a weird sensation as you all step into the circle, and it's just like it's almost like Wile E. Coyote. You get a couple steps into the circle, and everybody you feel like you should slam into everyone else, but two things happen. One, the people begin to fade away as you all charge into the center, and you don't slam into them, and you just keep going. And Torig's like, "Keep running, whatever you do, don't stop." And you're all just like putting one foot in front of the other, and then there's this instant feeling on like the second or third step where your foot just goes right through the floor, just, and you just feel like you're falling in this tunnel of light. Just the runes are circling all around you down this weird torpedoing tunnel, and then drops out, and your foot just suddenly boom hits the ground, solid marble floor in front of you, and you go stumbling out past this identical runic circle in this marble archway, and you come scrambling out in all these dimensions. You get about 3 more feet past the circle, and then not feet, sorry. You go 5 to 10 feet past the circle as you're running, and then you stop yourself at this brick wall surrounding in this teleportation room, and you're all just kind of like and you all look around and you take in your new surroundings. Beautiful marble floor with this permanent stone teleportation circle behind you. You can hear the footfalls and panting of the people behind you and all around you. The room it's a very large room, probably a good like 30-40 feet across, but with this many people crammed in it, it suddenly feels kind of tight. And there is a couple of different archways leading out of here, kind of one on each cardinal direction, and but they're all gated, and there's and Torig is standing there amongst you. All right, head count. Did everybody make it?
Here.
Here.
Great, let's go. And he goes and he flings open the door that would be towards the east, for those who keep track. And he goes marching out, and he's kind of moving a little haggard as he's leaning on his staff. He's definitely a little tuckered. And you go walking out into this mage tower. Now, some of you have been in other sections of this. There are multiple floors of this, and this is probably what would be the equivalent about the 5th. And you catch a glimpse of these beautiful arched windows in the really beautiful stone, kind of a motley gray and brown color, and then there's the whitish with dappled floors of the marble. And there are no seams anywhere. There's no, it's not blocks that have been put together. It's all seamlessly as though it was grown more than it was actually crafted. Balin, you recognize solid workmanship. This, you exit out into a hallway, and you see kind of a couple of acolytes sitting there, and they kind of snap to attention when this massive crew begins piling out of the door. There's one of them is a dwarf, one of them... they're both... One of them's a half-elf, one of them's a human, and they both meet the dwarf, Torig, and kind of take in his haggard appearance. They look a little surprised. What do you want to do?
I mean, I think Talavera will step up with Torig and basically, point to the acolytes. Get Calron and the others. We need to discuss this. There's an emergency.
Yes, sir. As one of the humans pipes up and goes running off down the hall, mumbling as he goes, pulling out this little string of copper as he's running. The other one's standing there. Right. If you want, I can bring you to the waiting room. And does anyone need... Oh, you are very large and furry. So this half-elf brings you over towards a waiting room. Very massive waiting room with high ceilings. Everywhere in the Mage Tower, unless I say otherwise, has it like a 20-foot high ceiling. Like it's cathedral-esque. And they're vaulted most places, each room. Anyway, so you're sitting in a room with many chairs, kind of looking at each other awkwardly for a little while. The time is dragging on a little past what you would expect.
Gex will just kind of stand up and do a kind of turn around the room, observing, possibly considering stealing things, because he's just in that kind of mood when he gets impatient.
So there's not a lot in this room. The sconces are attached to the walls and glowing with a magical fire. The windows look out over Tasvarell with a view that you're pretty sure you've never seen a tower in that direction before. Like, this tower, when you approach it from the outside, does not look very tall. Maybe 3-story building. But where you are now is now at least the 8th floor, looking out over the city. And you can get by the angle of the room. The whole thing is a massive curved wall, like you're on the outside room. And there's about 3 windows in this space, with the vaulted ceilings and several benches, even a few more comfortable chairs. The bugbear definitely settles down in the comfiest chair, like wiggles his butt into the nice, comfy leather chair. But there's not much of value per se in this room. You can see like a water jug and some glasses on one of the little side tables. And there's two doors, one that you came in and another one that looks pretty bolted and closed at the far end of the room.
Okay, really, I mean, the point was to kind of get a sense of where we are, and if he's going to steal something, it wouldn't necessarily be of value. It'd more be
You can try to get a sconce off if you want to.
It'd more be like, who the hell would steal that and why?
It's magical fire.
No, he's not going to steal that. Someone would notice.
Yeah.
More like Mike just pull a bolt out of one of the door hinges just because that's hilarious.
Sure. So you could go ahead and start prying at that. Everyone else is varying degrees of civility or not, considering you just brought a pirate crew with you. Talithar, I mean, given your rank between you and Torig, you would have expected them to answer you by now. It's been about half an hour.
Is Torig still in the room?
Yeah.
Talithar, I'll just look at him like, something's going on. They're taking too long.
I don't know. He looks like he's sweating a little bit, like he's definitely suffering from exhaustion, the technical exhaustion still. But he's trying to put on a brave face. You know your friend really well. And he's
Is
just
there
kind of
anyone, like any of the acolytes in the room, or is it just us?
There is the half elf that brought you in, and then they disappeared in the other door for a few minutes and then came back. And they're just kind of
The
standing there
Tal'Dorei-
trying to
The
keep an eye
Tal'Dorei
on
will
the
go up to
pirates.
the half up. Just say, what's taking so long? When I said this was an emergency, I wasn't kidding.
Yes, his worshipfulness is dealing with quite a few emergencies right now. I'm afraid you're probably the third one we've had this afternoon.
So this is an emergency that likely trumps those.
I can escalate it as best I can, sir. I recognize.
Why don't we escalate it? Why don't we escalate it together?
So, I rolled an insight check here. I got a nat 20 plus 6. Is this guy telling the truth?
The
Or are we
acolyte.
just, like, giving a line?
The acolyte seems pretty genuine. There seems to be like they seem a little more fidgety. They're pretty good at covering it, but they seem kind of fidgety and nervous. And they are armed slightly for a mage. There's a short sword at their side, and he keeps looking out the window. Anybody? Actually, you all. After a time, you take a look out the window. The weather outside is. It's funny. It's a very strange thing. You've seen thunderstorms and you've seen bright sun, but they rarely coexist. And outside over the harbor is quickly darkening. But on one side is brilliant sunshine, and this roiling dark cloud is approaching the harbor. And you can see the flickers of lightning in the distance.
Talbot's going to grab the acolyte and say, no, right now, this really is the most important thing. This is everything now.
Go ahead and roll perception or intimidation.
While you're doing that, you've piqued my interest. Shu, seeing this, being a seasoned sailor and whatnot, is this like a natural thing, or is this like the tempest before some kind of monster? Because that's where their brain goes. They probably have seen this naturally occur, but that doesn't mean it is the most often.
If you want to roll
nature, does that make sense?
Go ahead and roll nature. The DC
because
is
they're a
very low.
ranger. And their like natural terrain is oceans, they're getting a plus 12 to this.
That's fair. And I'm gonna say advantage.
Cool. Wait, no, they get plus 9. Sorry, I did my math wrong. Right.
And
it's
advantage.
3 plus their
Situational.
proficiency point.
Because they're a monster hunter.
Yeah.
I
Alright.
rolled 11.
I'm just gonna roll a d20 and add it. So that's a nat 1. Woo! But you said I got advantage. So it's actually a 28.
Nice. Okay, 28. Shu, it is incredibly not natural. There are stories about such
that's
things.
not good.
Heralded by the worst, the end of times, nastiest sea creatures. 20, how much?
28. 19 on the die. Plus 9, yeah.
There's this rhyme that pops into your head that the monster hunting training that Shu has done, and it's a kind of tale that they tell, sea adjacent children of the horrors. The waves will crash, the sky will break. The rains will fall and tear it all down. And there, amongst the blackened sea, the Kraken comes. The Kraken comes.
Oh, Blibdil Pup, what do you have planned for us? That's no storm. Well, it is, but... Well... Imagine you've all heard stories of krakens. She's coming.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Just one more. Let's just add one more. Why not?
Honestly, I like your style. I fought krakens, not as hard as they are usually knocked up to be. Considered, whatever the word is.
The
And Graham next to Hilda is just like, there's more?
the acolyte wilts under Talathar's glare of authority, and Torrid kind of gives a little nod behind, and he's like, I'm not supposed to, but we're rallying our forces, and Calron is coordinating several. All right, just you two. And Lesserin steps up. Me as well. Like, just I don't know you.
Embassy from the Dragon Isles.
Fine.
Emissary. Okay.
Come with me, and try not to make him mad. He's already. All right, let's go. And so he takes the three of you and brings you through the door, locking it behind, and down a weave of hallways, up 3 flights of stairs. It's weird though, because when you catch a glimpse of out another window, you are now at least 10 stories, maybe 12 stories above the city now. Things get timey-wimey, spacey-wacy inside a mage tower. So you are fairly quickly up very high, and you come into this somewhat familiar office, although slightly elongated and stretched from what you remember. Along one wall, you see a massive archway with a window and the city out before it. On the opposite side is the door you come through, and on either side you see these waterfalls pouring like jets of water from the ceiling, just pouring down. And you see projected faces every 4 feet in the waterfalls. There's about 20 feet on each side, so you see a bunch of faces, like 8 different faces of mages projected into the waterfalls by various magics. And you can hear overlapping accounts. Sir, we've got to the place and our forces are down. We're already diminished. Sir,
they came out of nowhere. We're not sure exactly. They're wispy creatures. They've killed 8 of our mages already.
So, and you hear all these various accounts of soldiers and mages under attack from a variety of locations, all projected. And you see Calron sitting in the midst with his back to you in a low-slung chair, his fingers steepled across in his brow. You can't see from that side, but he's kind of bent and arched in concentration. And he's giving pretty quick, stilted replies to each side as they come to him. And you walk into the midst of this. What do you want to say?
Calron, the leader of the Inquisitors. It's a beholder.
Welcome back, Talithar. The elven mage is stooped more than you remember. Now, you've been away for a very long time, but he did give you this mission, and the several dummy missions to go with it. And he acknowledges your presence and kind of gives the last few fleeting orders to a few people, to the streams on his sides, and then he waves his hand and they go silent, and he mutters, "A moment." And then he turns his chair and he looks to you, and you've seen... go ahead and do an insight check for me.
Okay. 30, 20.
You've seen this mage at various points. He's an elf. He has never looked old before, but he looks weary. And you see deep lines in his face. You see he's concentrating and very distracted, but as you mentioned the beholder, you see him kind of focus, and he turns in his chair and he stands up and kind of unfolds his hands and holds them out towards you and says, "Welcome home, brothers. I see you have found Torig. I'm glad to see that you are free. Now, how can I be of service?"
As I said, their leader is a beholder. Its name is Kalthara. It attacked us, but we fended it off and freed Torig in the process. Torig can take us deep within its lair, behind enemy lines, so we can finish it. We have an opportunity here.
As you can see, I'm stretched on all sides. Many creatures. Strange, ghastly reapers preying on our ranks. There are reports from sea that are most troubling. And now you tell me there's a beholder.
It is the mastermind. It is controlling them with control gems, both monsters and mages. If we cut off its head, everything else will fall. It's using some artifact to do this. That's how it's captured and used Torig and others. And I kind of show like the control gems. Like I have probably a bunch of both control and controller.
Got a couple
to
now.
him. Yeah, like at least 5, and say like I'll just kind of put them down as evidence.
May I see that? And he motions his hand and it floats across the room. And he grasps it. The red spike that you pulled from Torig's forehead, and he's looking at it. Such a small but troublesome relic. Do you know what this is?
I know as it's something that has been unearthed, that it found and is using against us. Controlling things of magic.
I've read of much in my times, and we in the tower are promised to protect against the worst of the scourges. This is but an aftershock, an unintended side effect. Have you ever heard of the legend of Uthran? It is an old one, even amongst my people. Go ahead and roll a history check.
Okay.
The DC's kind of high.
DC's kind of high? Okay. Let's see what Talathar's history check
Or
is.
religion.
Okay. It's basically the same roll, so. An 18.
Not bad.
Good.
It doesn't quite ring a bell for you, but Torig at your side kind of stiffens. Child's story. told it amongst my people. And Calron's like, yes, in ancient times, a powerful magic user sought to become immortal. On this very spot, the ruins beneath, and we, amongst our other secrets, have been promised to keep it safe and guarded and secret. Well, these are but a side effect of the cage built by mages far better than myself or you, Torg. This cage was meant to contain such a creature, or the promise of it. But in time, these become corrupted by the magics. We had hoped to keep it buried, and apparently it did not stay as such. This beholder, it is a threat, you say? We've already sent one team down after it, or something beneath. They did not return.
What did?
Really?
In our fight against the Beholder, a member named Rook managed to escape through. He said he was a prisoner of theirs, but he was able to share information and confirm the location of a teleportation circle. Torig knows the ruins of that circle. It's deep within its lair.
Well then. That is a powerful thing. Good work, Torig. Talithar. And what are you? He looks over at Lesrin.
May I introduce Lesrin, emissary of the Dragon Isle?
Ah. I see you have succeeded where others failed. That is wonderful. The dragons could make powerful allies. Whichever way they choose could determine the outcome of our entire effort. So, it is good to meet you, Lesrin. We have much to discuss. Now, I'm going to have to ask Talithar, Torig, what do you intend?
We intend to strike almost as soon as we can muster what forces you have available to lend us. It's wounded. We fought it off. We've killed a number of its lieutenants. It may not be expecting us. We may never get this chance again.
And he takes a long time looking at the little crystal, and he floats it up and over to this bookshelf at the side where you see several tomes and items displayed, and the crystal floats over and carefully lands on there. And he turns, he says, "You're right. Time is of the essence, but as you can see, my troops are spread very thin with the oncoming threats. I do not know how much I can offer you. There is much coming, and more than most know. It is good to see you again. We'll do what we can. But we must wait I need you to go downstairs. Come back when I have dealt with this. Come back in 3 days. I need you to do a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw.
It is a magical effect, so you would get your paladinness.
Okay.
What's the bonus on paladins?
My charisma.
I think it's +4.
Yeah.
That's your charisma.
24.
18 was the DC.
Ooh.
Torrig nods and says, Aye, Commander. I'll do as you wish. 3 days hence, we'll meet again and take care of this threat. And Lestern's like, 3 days, yes. My master must wait a little longer. And they both turn as if to leave. You feel no such agreement.
You mean 3 days? We just have an opportunity here right now. And I just kind of give Calron a look. Almost like I'm expecting there's something off.
Do a retroactive perception check.
The wrong character for perception and all that. Alright.
Or insight.
Well, it's gonna be dirty 20.
When he said that, 3 days, wait 3 days, he did a little motion with his hand. It was subtle, but it was there. He cast a spell. And a pretty powerful one at that. Go on. I've much to attend to. And he begins to turn around. Walk back to his screens.
Alright then. Kind of turn to walk with the others. When we exit,
The half-elf
Exited.
escorts you back.
yeah. I'll kind of turn to the others. Like, does Lestrin or Torek say anything to the others?
No, they walk back, quite contented. They seem unbothered, like, all right, we'll muster our strength 3 days from now. We'll strike in 3 days. Yes, we will commence the negotiation at the appointed time.
So we're all back together now?
You're all back together now, yeah.
We met.
I was promised action sooner than that.
Yeah. We met with Calron. He's busy. Many of the forces are under siege and under attack. He mentioned about us gathering our forces and waiting for 3 days.
Todd, you got something happening.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Outside the window, you see the lightning start striking. You see the in the distance, the clouds are just roiling over the harbor. The storm is hitting the city now. And it seems like in the dark shadows in the windows, you can see shadows amongst the clouds that seem a little like they shouldn't be there.
Is the acolyte still there?
Yeah, he's standing there, escorting you.
Yeah, like in the room?
Yeah, he's down at the end. It's a pretty big room.
I kind of go to Torrig, and I say, can you shake this off? He casted a spell.
What do you mean?
Of this?
I mean, it was a mage. Yeah, we all cast hand spells all the time.
If does Talthar say that to the group, or
I'm kind of saying a bit quietly,
You're all kind of
but to
clustered.
you guys as well. Yeah, cluster again. Like, so I will look at the magic users. Casted.
Eli will cast the spell magic
As you
on
cast
Talthar.
that, you kind of push out your essence, the magical concentration, Elias, and it goes out in this radius. And you don't normally have to focus on something, but you know that it's involving Talthar and Torig and possibly Lestrin. And as it goes out, radiating from you, there's this resistance. I need you to roll Arcana.
What level are you casting the spell at, though?
Level 3.
Cool.
I need you to roll Arcana.
Yep.
The DC is not low, just so you know.
21.
That'll do it. There's this moment of resistance as the bubble of your influence presses up against these little cones that surround Torig and Lestrin, and then bursts it. And they both kind of gasp audibly, and they both look at Talthar, and Torig especially is just like,
Well done,
okay,
Elias.
what the hell was that?
That was not good. He casted a spell to enchant both of you to wait 3 days. We don't have 3 days. I don't know why he did that.
3 days? We don't have 3 days.
Shh. Something's not right.
Mhm.
But I don't think we can get the help we hoped for here, either way.
Does the guy you talked? Do they have the one of those spikes we found?
Not visibly. I think. And they're under siege anyways. There's only... Even if they could help, there'd be only so much they could help with. But now I'm suspicious. Something is off, and I don't like it. I think we need to do this ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, but there's the why of it. Why don't they want us to go take out this beholder?
Why make us wait 2 days?
So that it can kill us all.
Could be under an influence, for all I know. But if we confront him on it, we waste our resources to find out that he's just under their influence while we're being attacked on all sides. And there's a frickin' kraken coming, apparently.
Yeah, you certainly chose a great town to teleport to.
Well,
Wow.
normally it wouldn't be like this. We would be able to gather dozens of mages and troops to help support us. This beholder is doing something. It's making a play for something. Tori, you mentioned that story, and I just asked Tori to kind of relate it to everyone else about a scourge that was bound and caged deep beneath the city in the ruins, and has a corrupting essence, and these control gems are almost a byproduct. Do you remember that story?
I do. It's... I'm fuzzy on the details, but there was some kind of big, bad, nasty, undead creature thing, and then the only way to contain it was to, like, these mages did this spell to, like, encase the source of its power, and they put this golden lattice around it, but in time it grew, but it was contained deep beneath, and they buried the city, and that's supposed to be, you know, one of the around these areas somewhere.
I think I can't remember who has the book, but Rook or Talthar would probably show, like, is this your notes? Like, is this what you mean? Like, to show the star that was fought over in the gauntlet, and then also the object that Rook had gotten from the Undertow. Like, he has those notes. We'd probably share it with Tori.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you wrote these
Yeah,
notes.
he
Is this
remembers.
it?
And he's like, I drew that from what I saw in my spare few minutes when they let me. I saw that beneath the city, but I didn't. I mean, it's a children's story. I didn't think it. I guess that could be it.
Like, Brooke will pipe up that thing. That's the object that I took and was taken and caused the Undertow to be destroyed.
Mhm.
Well, says Lesrin, are you saying that the Mage Tower leader is not to be trusted then?
I guess Talipar will say, for now, no. He may be compromised or controlled. This thing is bigger than we thought, even bigger than we could imagine.
And Lesrin kind of touches his necklace. Have you any proof of this?
Just the fact that he casted a powerful spell to make us wait 3 days when we should be moving quickly to stop this threat. So nothing beyond that, just suspicion.
I've
doesn't
been
seem
tasked
right.
with negotiating through and on behalf of my masters with the head of the Mage Tower. But go ahead and roll persuasion.
Okay. What am I trying to persuade him to do?
You're trying to convince him that the Mage Tower is compromised. Based on your
Okay.
word alone.
Okay. 23.
Yes. Puny elf boy seemed fucked up. Who is the nearest mage? Next in line that we trust of the Mage Tower. You.
Corrigan.
And he points to Talithar. He's like, you are a mage.
I am a paladin. Horig is a mage.
You, then, Torig. We have much to
Torig-
discuss.
I
And he
think-
takes Torig by the shoulder and drags him over to the side of the room, and they begin like
Okay.
a tete-a-tete that is crazy intense. And like, it's just anytime anybody comes over, Lesrin just looks at them with those strange pupilled eyes of a lizard folk until they walk away. And then in hushed voices, they begin talking. And there is an intense negotiation going on for some time. So what do the rest of you want to do?
Can I ritual cast detect magic?
Absolutely. There's plenty of time.
Yeah.
What do you want?
I just want to have it going because it lasts up to 10 minutes.
Fair
So
You just keep re-upping it every 10 minutes.
yeah,
It takes 10 minutes to cast, and then you keep casting it. So you're just like humming it. And as you're doing this, about the third time, you see this little ethereal eye pop into view in the far corner of the room. It's like hovering there with these little weird tentacles as astrally kind of floating there, invisible to all others, but your magic detect picks it up, and it's like, and his tentacle seems to extend off and then disappear into the ether. There's something definitely watching this room.
What do I see if I look out the window?
You see this massive storm coming. It's not even coming. It's now lashing the side. But the water doesn't seem to come in the windows. It hits. There's no glass. It hits, and then as though it just kind of deflects around them by heavy wind away from each of the windows. So it's not coming in, but it's definitely smacking against. There is a full-on thunderstorm going on outside. Do a perception check for me, Hilda. And with advantage, because Graham is helping you.
Looks like maybe we're stuck in here. Those are, well, not the winds you want to be out in. Knock you right off your feet.
A 10 and also a 12.
All right. So you see this massive thunderstorm raging across the city, flecks of lightning and thunder. Just you can hear the thunder, but it seems kind of muffled within the tower here. That's what you pick up. Gex, you've been studying out the window for a little while, and you can see like most of the city. And because they arch, you can see kind of more than just the 90 degree. You can see not that far away a couple of taverns you once knew, and a little bit further on, you can actually see the beginning of the hill that leads up over the. There's kind of a raised section of the city where the ruins of the Undertow is. It's not that far away. You can see it from the window. And then the port itself down directly off to the right. And you're just kind of all hanging out in this room for a bit. Anybody want to do something?
I did roll a history check for that legend earlier, but I got a 9. I don't assume that's going to get me anything new.
Unfortunately, nothing new. Yeah. Ancient evils
So
come and go.
Todd, how high off the ground is that window?
It looks like you're about 10 stories up right now.
So like 100, no, 80,
About
100 feet?
120 feet, somewhere in that range. Well, actually, a little more than that. The ceilings are very tall, so it's probably about 200 feet from the ground.
Can we? So the water can't come into the windows, but can we like stick a hand past that?
You're welcome to try. Hilda,
Yeah.
go ahead and roll acrobatics.
I did not realize we climbed so many stairs. Cool.
That's the weird thing
Or
about
do we
mage
tell-
towers.
Ooh,
I'm
Roll
just
the 9.
wondering.
I don't know.
So Gex will just wonder out loud, but not actually be wondering. How many of you, besides myself, carry, your standard 50-foot coil of rope? Let's see.
Of
So many
course.
people put up their ropes.
Yeah.
Never leave home without it.
Yeah, I can make as much rope as you want in 10 minutes. I'll make rope.
May
up in a year.
I don't think it's necessary.
Hilda, you stick
Yeah,
your
so-
hand out, and your hand is immediately like it's nothing, and then you reach out, and there's this intense pressure, like whooshing wind, and thwacked with rain on your fingertips, and you just. Actually, with 10, I'm going to say you start to fall out the window as it's like, and Graham slams his hand on your shoulder, his hammy hand on your shoulder, and pulls you back from the edge. Careful.
Yeah, I actually rolled a 9, so it definitely was kind of sucking in truth.
Yeah. And because Graham was right there with you, he saved you from the actually, go ahead and roll again in case you roll a 1. This might be held. I'm just saying.
Oh, no, 15.
Okay, you're fine. It needed to be over 10.
Okay.
So you're good. So Graham saved your ass. And the half-orc gives you this little nod. All right.
Thank you.
What's the plan?
I think Talma was going to tell the others just prepare to get ready because probably going to go soon.
Gex?
Sorry.
Gex, where's that tree you're talking about?
If I remember correctly, it's down on the ground floor.
This building?
I'm assuming this is the building that we were in. As Gex says this as he's walking around taking everybody's rope.
I just
Absolutely.
almost died going through that window.
So, I have an idea. So Balin is getting the vibe that, like, yeah, this guy's casting spells. Some people are supposed to be his allies. We don't have 3 days to wait. That's obvious. Again, we do have a fortune teller. If this guy's working with the Beholder, could we maybe ask the question, like, does the Beholder know we're coming now? Because if this guy's working with him, he would have let him know. Like, do we still have that jump? Have we lost that advantage?
So that's the question I was going to ask. For like clairvoyance and scrying and stuff, like the eye that popped up, is it like in the ethereal plane, or is it like a kind of its own magic?
It's its own magic thing. It's an invisible sensor. But because you have detect magic up, it is looking around.
Yeah.
It does look vaguely like an eye stalky eye as well. But it could also just be the sensor from scrying.
I'm gonna go ahead and activate the third eye, which means I get 60 feet of like ethereal sight. It's not gonna affect that, but it'll be nice to have it up.
Fair enough. Do a perception check for me with advantage.
Where's my thing? 24.
All right. So you open your third eye and you're looking first at this magical scrying sensor, and your eye kind of drifts towards the window, and you let out an audible noise of surprise. And, well, I mean, it's a little shocking what you see out through the window. It's only 60 feet, so you don't see much at first, but I'm gonna say timey-wimey, it's rule of cool. For a moment, your eye sees further and pierces the darkness of the storm. In more immediate foreground, you see these shadowy cloaked figures. And at first, with the storm going on, it might be hard to identify them, except you've seen their kind before. Reapers. Many of them begin swarming over the city. You can vaguely sense that they are beginning to descend on the city in this storm. You can also, in the far, far distance, just see the edge of this massive shadowy tentacle. And then it recedes or is buried in the storm.
Okay, immediately he's gonna walk over to Talthar. We need to get out of here. I'm pretty sure the Beholder knows we're coming for it, because I just saw it. And there's a lot of other shit going down. And it's scary. And I don't know if we could fully trust these guys. Because how are they mage towers and don't know... They're mages and they don't know this is coming? That doesn't sound right. It's a lot of magic. I could see it.
Mm.
They're being attacked. But you are right. There's something off. We do need to leave. My bet is that with everything going on, this Beholder is throwing everything at the city. And though it may know we may be able to go after it, it doesn't know that we're going after it just yet. All it knows is that we've been ordered to wait 3 days. So, I think we need to gather what we can and do the original plan. Go after it. End it.
Did Gex and Empty already leave?
I don't think so, but Empty does want to like head downstairs. Yeah.
Okay.
Not really sure that
Empty. You open the door to leave, and is Gex
geometry
with you,
of this
did you
place.
say?
I probably wouldn't just walk out because Empty's not that confident of the person.
The door
but
to the
she
office
is like,
closed, but the other one
moment,
seems
she would
available.
be like, "Can we head down and this is the only thing I need. Then go teleport or however that works, something like that."
I'm gonna quickly run up to Gex and like, subtlety's your thing, right? What's a small sign that I can use to like show people, but like not get seen?
What do you want to say with this sign?
And he leans forward and he's like, "Listen, something's watching us. I think it's the Beholder. And I think it currently thinks that we were being told to wait 3 days."
Do an Arcana check for me.
Okay.
Empty.
14.
The door you came through seems like fine. It occasionally opens and closes as somebody brings in fresh water. One of the acolytes, a gnome, comes up and offers people some snacks.
I think we're just leaving. Are we leaving now?
Well, we're leaving and waiting 3 days.
I'm gonna need a group deception check.
Okay.
This is a group, so it's kind of averaged amongst the rest of you. Just the player characters, not the NPCs. I'm gonna assume they all
seems
average
right.
out. Actually, they're all pirates.
Yeah, I suppose
They're
this
pretty
is
good
fair.
at deception.
Just keeping your mouth shut and it is definitely a thing. So that's a
How much?
3.
Empty is not a bluffer. Empty needs to play
A 2
cards
plus
with us.
1. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think she says anything, but she tries to stay quiet and not look suspicious, which is that thing. Yeah, right. It's the like, I am pretending to not look suspicious thing, right? Like, you know, it's that whole thing where it's like, that only draws attention to yourself. Yeah.
All right. Gex, how'd you do? Unless you have another plan. You do have about 300 feet of rope right now.
Yeah, that's all tied together at this point.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have taken very long. So the acolyte just came in, just one of them?
Yeah, there's a gnome in there right now. He's got a plate full of grapes.
Just one, eh? They're all wearing the same kind of clothing, I'm assuming?
Yeah, some gray robes.
Okay.
They've got, like, pouches. They got, like...
I can see where this is going.
As
Sandals.
soon as he leaves... Oh, what's the DC to...
They do have a necklace around their neck with, like, a little tiny, like, kind of clear crystal. Looks like some kind of medallion type thing showing rank.
Okay.
Did Calron have one of those?
You haven't seen him, unfortunately, so you don't know. Not lately.
Well, okay.
You've seen these crystals before. They seem like quartz. They don't seem like they're worth much.
So he'll take the rope and he'll throw it at the bear and be like, "Here, make this go out the window. One end tied to that table, one end out the window." And then he'll walk over to
Then he begins.
and then Gex will walk over to Empty, and as he's walking over there, he will cast. Wait, has the guy left yet?
There's the half elf at the far end of the room who hasn't left, but the gnome is about to leave. You can wait till he leaves if you want.
Yeah, I need to distract that elf. I'm gonna sign that to
to one of
Rook.
the various rogues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that elf needs to not see what I'm about to do. I'll just sign that.
I'm just gonna say like 7 of your NPC people all stand up and start doing weird. They all see the sign at the same, and they all
I mean, I
understand
was
the
gonna
sign
ask.
cause some shit.
I was going to ask if I could take Thieves' as one of my languages, despite not being a rogue, just as a language slot for sure.
100% for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, totally.
She also gets into this.
So as soon as people start being distracted, I kind of look over my shoulder, and if he's not looking at me, and after the gnome has left, I'll walk towards Empty Wisdom, and I will cast Disguise Self on myself, and to resemble as exactly as possible the acolytes.
Sure.
But I'm just
You've seen a few of them.
taller one.
You can look like a tall, please say supersized gnome.
Supersized gnome.
Yeah.
Oh, life is good. All right, so
Oh.
you are now a supersized gnome version.
with the fries and a Coke. So, and then it'd be like, and then I'll go to Empty and I'll just kind of wink and go, "You're coming with me."
Okay. And
just play along. You're coming with me. Just play along.
All right.
I think Empty's got like cheeks full of grapes. Like she just stuffed a bunch in her mouth so that she'd shut up and wouldn't say anything stupid. So she's just like,
Isolde,
and I will.
Daddy's leaving. You see him doing all this. Are you going to do anything? I don't know if you're saying anything, Bella. We can't see you. We can't hear you.
Sorry.
It's all good.
I got lost in all of that, so I didn't realize you were talking to me.
They've Empty and Gex in disguise have just left.
Right. I see. Like I saw Gex.
Yeah.
Kind of turn.
You totally did.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of look around and try to assess the situation. I'm not absolutely sure that this is a great thing, so I still have my right on my weapon, and I am just ready for anything that's going to come my way, which is probably a lot right now, so
all right.
I'm just prepared.
Okay, so you're standing by the door. So Empty and Gex in disguise walk out, and you're going. It opens into the hall you came from, and you begin to walk down towards the stairs where you came from, and you see a few people coming back up, an acolyte, and a couple of other people. Empty. There's this like really big dude just behind the acolyte, carrying a large battle axe over their shoulders. Kind of slung across their shoulders, shield, huge half-orc, wicked scar running down the side of his face. You see just behind them coming up the stairs, you see this beautiful, lithe tabaxi woman kind of wandering up, hood pulled deep over their head full, like receded into the hood. And in behind another shorter type creature kind of walking up the stairs behind them. And the acolyte said, "Yes, thank you for coming. We need to meet His Highness very soon. Can I help? Oh, excuse us." And they begin to walk around Empty and...
I do have one question real quick. Because I, the player, have meta knowledge about this, as I was not. I did not meet these characters and player or as Empty, but I did watch those episodes. Because I wasn't even like playing a different character; I just watched those ones. One of them's a druid. Can I pick up on that? Is there like a druid recognized game situation? That guy might have died. Actually, I don't remember.
Well, do a perception check as Empty Wisdom.
Because there's a whole thing about like druid
Telepathy?
What's it even like? The druidism is a language that they get, sort of like thieves can't. But it's also like you notice druidic signs placed places without having to make it like a perception check and stuff. Like you pick up on it. Okay. So if there's any like symbology, I might like immediately click
just to see.
I will totally do it. I mean, I got like +9 to perception. I should be fine on this. Yeah, it's a 23, 28 if you give me
definitely. You're like
whatever.
The half orc and the tabaxi and this little halfling, and the half orc's got this rat in his pocket that's actually a person. That's weird.
Okay, cool.
And they go.
I don't have anything to do with that information. I just know it. Like, I'm sorry.
Does the shoulder chuck against? I guess it would be the acolyte.
Is it me? It might be
leading.
Me. Yeah. Okay.
So Garrix doesn't appear to recognize you, and just out of the way.
Apologies. By all means.
And you, they go walking into the hallway, and they kind of pause there. And there's do a perception check for me, as the both of you are kind of lingering on the threshold to go down the stairs.
Sir, I'm talking to Gex. I don't know if we can make this right now. We're probably gonna have to go as soon as it happens. Do you want me to make another perception check, or are you just gonna let that ride?
I'll let that ride. What about you, Steve?
14.
14? That's still enough to beat them. That half-orc is not a subtle dude. He rolled a 6. And he's like, all right, yeah, we'll wait here until he's calling us. And the acolyte nods and points towards the room you just left. And they all three kind of post up and nod. And the two of you can continue on. You can go back. What do you want to do?
Well, since I know where they're going to be, I'm actually going to just let them go in.
Subtle. I don't know if I can succeed at that.
Sorry, pardon?
Since I know
sorry.
See first, then Gay. Then Darcy.
Yeah, so I'm just going to let them go to the room because I know where they're going to be.
They're actually waiting in the hall outside of the room that you guys were held in.
Before I go, I'll just kind of say over my shoulder, you may want to go through those doors. And they just keep going.
Okay. You head on down the stairs, and they seem to wind a lot longer than you remember. Round and round. Darcy, what did you say?
I was saying to Gex, like, did you know them? Like, I think I picked up on something. Yeah. Are they?
We have a complicated relationship.
I mean, if we're trying to get help.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get their help. They just don't know it yet.
Okay.
Well,
this might have to happen all really fast. I think. I don't know if we'll be ready to. I don't know if we can.
At about that point, you pop
Let's find out,
what is equivalent of the third-story atrium, like vista view. You see it as you're going down the stairs, and then it opens up on the right. You've passed several of these, but you see this large antechamber inside, and it's like you're on this ringing balcony around the top. You're like, you go out there, and it's like you're 3 stories high. And the first thing you notice, though, the thing that grabs your attention, empty, and it's almost like wisdom grabs you and pulls you in that direction for a second. Is the tree. There's this massive white and yellow and rainbow leafed tree growing out of the middle of this tower at the ground, extending down even below ground level, and it's extending up even beyond this third story atrium balcony. So you're kind of like 2/3 of the way up, maybe like 3/4 of the way up the tree, and you can see it now. Meanwhile, back at the room, what's the plan?
We can see.
We cut back to like Shu getting slapped in the face. He was like trying to flirt with the half elf. They have a charisma of 8. Didn't go very well.
Yeah.
I didn't understand at all what they meant.
I think Talthar would at some point check on Torig and Lesrin like now and then, like, you guys done?
Talthar walks over and Torig's like nodding furiously, concentrating. Like, I could use a drink of ale. God. It's a lot to presume, but I suppose. Tal, I need a few more minutes. Maybe a few days. My Draconic's not great. And Lesrin's like, you get the impression they could continue this talk on the move if they needed to.
Yeah, wait. When we're getting ready to go, we'll go, and then you guys can continue discussions.
All right.
So, when you're ready, you'll come with us, do your thing, then you continue while we pay a visit to an old friend.
Elias, you notice that the scrying eye winks out of existence. You are no longer being watched.
I thought you were going to say winks at you.
It's like
game recognized game. I know you watch. I know you
sassy scrying eye.
I'm
sorry.
Doing my best to just like pretend I don't see it and just like play defense. Like anytime I see something pop up, like try to continue with the plan, and also like just give Talthar like I saw Gex do something to Rook, so Eli's just making hand signals that he has no idea what they mean.
You're insulting Rook.
And after a while of this, and
it's just a middle finger.
Elias, you're all kind of surreptitiously like walking past each other, giving little looks and updates, and at some point, Torig's like, all right, Del. I hope we have not given too much away, but I think we're done.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you didn't like give away the kitchen sink, but sure, fine. Let's get everyone organized. When the other two come back from their sightseeing trip, we're gonna mobilize and move out. So if anyone has to do any last minute preparations, now's the time, because we're gonna go real soon.
Lesrin kind of extends their hand out towards you, Talthar, and stops you on your shoulder, gives a little nod, and snaps off his necklace and slams it down. The skull, this kind of gem-like, kind of like a black stone skull of a dragon on the ground, and it just shatters across the whole space, ruining all decorum of the place. And it's just like there's a moment, and you see where the teeth were begin to become these puddles of black ink, and the rest of the skull melts away, but in the core of each of the teeth you see several gemstones of varying colors. You see green, you see red, you see silver, you see copper, you see white gemstones laying on the floor. And Lesrin says, "My mission is done. Thank you, friends. Balin, it's been a good time. I must return to my master. Take these. You'll know what to do with them. Those who choose the way above. And to those who choose the way below, I wish you good luck and farewell." And Lesrin leaps out the window. You're 10 stories up, but you vaguely, anyone looks out, vaguely picks out. It doesn't seem like his body hit the ground. Just somewhere in the buffeting winds, he's just gone.
Ooh.
So, what color stone do people pick up? There's several.
White. If nobody wants it, I'll take the white.
All right, so
There was silver, copper, basically all the colors of the chromatic dragons, right?
yes, 100%. Silver, gold, copper, brass. Then we've got blue,
As a dwarf, I think I'm
Sapphire.
very much attracted to the gold one.
white. Yeah.
Is that Dwarfist? Is that Dwarfist?
Well, I'm a dwarf, so...
Red. What else? Black. And am I forgetting any? There's got to be more. Green. Thank you. And I think there's another silvery one, metallic one. Silver, gold, copper, brass.
You mean bronze versus copper?
Bronze. Yeah, thank you. So, you can each pick a gem up if you want. Those who are in the room. You can also save them for others if you want, or give them to your NPCs as you see fit. So, Isolde grabs the white.
Uh-huh.
Balin grabs the gold. Oh, Balin. The gold was actually... You feel something dribbling down your chest, underneath your armor. And you kind of pull up the chain that used to hold the tooth that Lesrin broke off from his necklace and gave to you, and it is now a puddle of black ichor dripping down your stomach. But in its place, you find the gold gemstone.
Cool.
Interesting.
Yes.
Is there a relevant check I could do on these things?
Sure, go ahead and cast Identify. I'll need an Arcana check.
Okay.
Who wants
Talthar will
bronze?
take silver.
Silver? All right, Talithar.
I didn't fully follow what happened, so where did these come from?
They came from Lesrin. He shattered the dragon skull that he's been carrying and wearing, and it melted away and became these gemstones. And you get one.
Right, so is he like handing them out? The word shatter made me think they just went everywhere, and people were like,
No.
"I'll pick it up, sure." But
Yeah,
like, I wasn't.
It's one of those moments
Okay.
where you kind of feel half drawn to a particular thing. It's not entirely like, oh, I'll just. So which one do you feel drawn to is more the question.
Cool.
And you can speak on behalf of others as well. So even if you're not in the room, Empty and Gex. Or actually, Shu and Crank get to choose on your behalves.
Yeah, Shu will definitely pick one up if like everyone's done that, and it's not going to be like, "Oh, you're being a greedy pirate there." But I think they would be drawn to like a sea-aligned one, which I think I'm trying to remember. I know that some of the like metallic ones are like thing, but
I
my
feel like
brain wants to
brass.
go with
Or copper.
Yeah, I feel like they'd be drawn to one of the chromatic dragons that are of the sea, which I think that blue sometimes is, but isn't always.
Sure.
Probably what I'd be drawn to. would be
Shu is drawn to blue.
the blue one because
Blue dragons are the desert dragons, actually.
Oh.
I think they like
I think it's
have a very. I think they
green
Yeah.
or black. I know black.
double check one.
They like swamps.
Black
Black
is
is
swamp,
swamp.
yeah.
I think if no one like stops Rook will probably just take a red one. The red one.
Sure. Rook takes red.
Cool.
What about you, Elias?
I'll take whatever's left over, like what's still there.
There's bronze, copper, brass, blue, black, and green.
I'll take the bronze.
All right. Elias and Balin, you've got the red. who isn't spoken for? Bella, or Isolde, or Frizzle?
Isol took white.
Oh, right.
If we need
Isolde,
more,
do you want to make a choice on behalf of Gex? He's not here to collect one.
what's remaining? Black.
Black is there, green is there, brass, copper, and blue.
Brass.
Brass. Okay.
I
Gex
think
by way
Hilda
of
would go
Isolde.
for copper.
All right. Hilda's going copper. All right. There's blue, black, and green amongst the NPCs. I want to say the Minotaur grabs the blue one. Unless someone else does.
Well,
That's
Shu
fine.
was taking the blue one.
Oh, sorry. Shu is
Right.
taking blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'm happy to change that. I know that they're lightning and storm and sea, and that feels like, but you're correct, Matt, about them being like desert. So it is a weird sort of contrast there. But
It looks like it's bronze that prefers the sea.
I know
type
that some of the
thing.
metallics were. I was just hoping there was a chromatic because I mean, they might be something that she was killed in a past life.
All right.
Which would be thematically fun for me.
Minotaur,
But
black or green?
Oh, the Minotaur. Green is forest. I feel like, forests, hedge mazes. I don't know. Maybe there's some crossover. I don't know.
Okay. Minotaur scoops up the green one, and there's a black one sitting on the ground. Oh, come on. Don't be like
I think
that.
Rook took the black one, right?
Oh, did Rook take the black one?
Oh no, you said red.
took the
Sorry,
red.
I misheard you. Yeah. Yeah, you said red.
All right. I'm going to say
If no one's taking it, I'll take that one too.
Crank.
I don't know.
Crank bends down. The massive bugbear scoops up the black gem that just whispers and calls. It will be the mightiest of bugbears, riding into fury and glory. So let me know when you want to break those, because that does a thing. Okay? Everybody got that message?
Sweet.
Is there any
So,
way to?
I
check
did do
what
a
that
21 on my Arcana check there.
21, and are you going to burn the spell slot for Identify?
Well, I think I can cast it as a ritual, right?
Yeah?
I don't-
If you want to take the
Yeah.
time.
Is that by ritual? Might be. I don't know.
It is.
Yeah, I can do it as a ritual. Takes
All right.
11 minutes.
He begins to mutter and hum and dwarfenate. You got a couple of minutes. Anybody else? You're all kind of looking at these things. On behalf of your NPCs, Roland, those of you who got gems, that's a few of you, go ahead and roll an intelligence check.
Just flat. No skill. No save.
Straight int.
Okay.
Or wisdom. I would allow it.
13.
I'm
Oh,
good
well.
either way.
Let me know anyone who doesn't roll an 8 or higher.
I rolled
At a 19.
13. So above an 8.
Meanwhile, empty wisdom.
Since I've
If you
tangled
want,
with the dragon.
you have eyes on that massive tree. You can do your thing if
Yeah.
you want to.
Mm-hmm. So when they get there, she's like, "Go ahead. Do you have a thing first?"
Well,
Okay.
I might interrupt you, but go ahead.
Yeah, feel free to interrupt me. We get there. Empty looks at Gax, just like, "Okay. Seems polite to ask first. See if this works." She pulls out the entire time she's probably been holding the staff and then also, like, I guess cradling the mushroom thing. I don't think she'd just leave it in the room. So she's been walking around like that, and just holds the staff and tries to commune with the tree. And she's going to spend some of the staff's charges to cast Speak with Plants.
All right. And immediately you get this deep sensation vibrating through you, and it's as though your astral roots extend down and branches extend up, and you begin to speak tree. And you hear the still, soft, very ancient voice of this tree in front of you.
Oh, I hadn't really thought of it. I really like the image of, like, previously we've seen the astral self sort of take control of Empty, and she is no longer there. And now we're seeing for the first time, like, the astral soul and herself, like, layered on top of each other. Like, both present as we
Both
see her
conscious.
eyes open. And we do see this, like, yeah, they're both there. They're one for, like, maybe the first time ever. That's really cool. Thank you for that.
Welcome, empty wisdom, to my halls.
Oh, I wish I could put some echo in my voice too. Like, can I speak in both these voices at the same time?
Just talk. I got it.
Hello.
You come at a difficult
I was
time. What do you seek?
Yes. We seek your assistance. We can give you life, one different from the one you know. We'd like you to come with us. You can come back. It's a dire situation.
Life I have. But your cause I will seek to assist. You bear the staff. Use it wisely.
Empty's going to, like, reach out, because the way you've described this, she's, like, on sort of like a balcony, right?
Yeah.
And so she probably, like, leans forward and holding the, like, staff out, right? So it's as far distance as you can to make sure it touches, and as soon as it touches the tree,
and the tree
I'm going to cast
back.
Awaken on this tree. Oh no, she doesn't let us.
No,
They
the
don't let
tree
us. I
leans
shouldn't gender this
towards meeting the staff.
Oh, okay,
Because
cool.
otherwise you couldn't reach.
Great.
And
Great. When it touches, I'm going to cast Awaken. I do need to mark down the charges. This is a total of 8 of the 10 charges, so I need to mark that.
And
I'm going to cast Awaken. I think it might technically be too big for Awaken, but it's fine. It's fine.
You know what? I'm going to say do a Wisdom saving throw.
Saving throw? Okay. I don't have proficiency because I'm a monk. I got a 13.
One sec.
Cool. No, go for it. Mess me up.
You're lucky. You are so damn lucky. I did that as a straight roll, and that is an 11, sir. All right. Sorry. All right. So, the staff in your hand just, it almost comes alive and rips itself out of your hand. And in the process, a crack goes down the staff as you spend every charge it's got to overcast, basically.
Oh. Okay. Well, let me just read you a line from the staff.
Yeah.
The staff has 10 charges. It regains charges, blah, blah, blah. If you expend the last charge, roll a d20. On a 1, the staff loses its properties and becomes a non-magical quarterstaff.
So that's essentially what this was. But you rolled the 13.
I'm rolling that d20.
And you beat my
I'm rolling
11.
the d20.
Oh, okay.
I'm rolling it.
Roll it.
It's a 12. Okay.
Okay. So the staff is fine, but it's got a crack in it. But it's fine. And
Nice.
Empty... Gex,
and I will mark it down to 0.
Gex, Empty is about to step off the goddamn balcony. Like, doesn't even know where they're going.
That sounds like me.
Are you going to do anything about that?
Just hold on to the collar.
I do picture the, like, Empty is further than her center of gravity. Gex holding just with a hand on the back of her cloak. Yeah.
And this pulse extends down the tree, and you have this moment of stillness, and nothing happens. And then the marble at the base begins to crack. And along the trunk of the tree begins to separate in this. And if you ever heard trees cracking in the winter, you know that sound. It's like, and it begins to separate, and up comes these roots, just tearing up the marble much farther than you would expect, like just extending. And the whole courtyard begins to get pulled up as this tree begins to just heft itself out of the ground. Its massive branches.
I turned to Gex and I'm like, so yeah, we kind of, we might have to go now.
That's the plan.
Cool.
Let's go.
All right.
Come with me.
The whole tower at this moment begins
Cut upstairs. Shake.
cut up to upstairs.
Oh boy.
There's this crack of lightning, and you see these shapes. You see one of the reapers like hesitate in the window for a second and then fly off downwards. Graham looks out the window and is like, what the hell was that? And looks down, and you see this acolyte, like way the hell, 10 stories down, get lifted off the ground a little bit, about 20 feet in the air, and then drops lifelessly to the ground. And then the bones, and then the acolyte that was just dropped begins to come alive come undead as the reaper, one of the many reapers, harvests them.
Ooh.
And then there's this pulse of greenish yellow energy. It's almost rain. Fuck it, let's go full rainbow pulse. Just goes, and it's super like, what the hell was that? And then the whole tower just kind of shudders a little bit. Okay.
Wow.
So Torrig looks at Talithar. He's like, all right, I think it's time we get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And the Minotaur stops Balin and points out the window. Is like, what do we do about that? And you can see like these creatures whipping by outside. You see a chimera fly by, dragging some poor town folk who's like screaming as it's tearing out their throat.
Oh, God.
So, either now or the next game, you have to decide who's going up to help above, if anyone, and who's going down.
This town looks fucked. Let's get out of here.
Well, hold on. What do you mean?
Seems like it's time to go.
Sorry, go to help above. You mean with like the flying creatures? I think like we're going into the belly of the beast, right? Like we should all be going down, and unless
Crank,
someone's
what did you get on your intelligence or wisdom roll earlier?
20.
Oh, god damn, that is one wise bugbear. All right, he's holding the most precious thing he's ever held, this little black stone. All right, okay, so you're all going to start to exit. You throw open the door. Who's leading the way out, by the way? Rook, Talithar, Hilda, Balin? Oh, Balin's got something to say.
So yeah, you never did give me the info from my Arcana check there with the 21 and the identify.
So, you just finished your ritual as who's leading out?
Talithar and Torrig will probably lead everyone out down.
All right. Talithar throws open the door. Torrig, you see a couple of guards standing there. They look pretty, they got the crest showing they're hired by the Mage Tower. Mercenaries, no big deal. And they kind of are a bit surprised you've thrown open the door. You begin to run out into the hallway. Everybody else, what's the rough marching order?
I'd probably be right behind them.
Isilwood?
Yeah.
Alternatively, the guards might have been like, holy crap, what was that sound downstairs? That's more important. I don't know. It depends on these guards.
It's true.
Anyway.
But these particular individuals, a half-orc and a tabaxi and a halfling, were particularly hired to pay attention to something else as you all begin running into the hallway. So what's the order?
I think Hilda would probably be a little bit on the behind because she has to coax Scram to follow and not, He's like, yeah, there's gonna be some shit that you're gonna see when you party with the strange acquaintances.
Like Rook
Let's
will probably be hanging near her as well, because she's the only other person that he's really familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Eli and Jalen are probably going to be right behind the front line, because Eli's still trying to look out for like any of the Reapers that are coming out, so he can give like a fast signal.
Fair
And
enough.
Jalen's a tough guy.
All right,
Yeah.
I like it. And Crank, where's Crank falling into this order?
He's gonna bring up the rear.
All right, and Balin
Yep.
and Esteron.
I could see Asterion kind of being near the
Asterion.
front, as a Minotaur. He'd probably want to be near the front. Balin, I think, might be near the back because he's just finishing up his spell, so he might be, a little bit slow to join the line.
All right, so
I
you're
think
going
she
to
was
be
hanging with Craig.
yeah.
Yeah,
Balin
the
and
buds.
Shu
Probably.
are all
I
at
don't
the
know.
back end. All right, as how do you say it? Asterion. So Asterion kind of steps
Asterion, yeah.
as a guard, protectively steps in front of Talithar and Torrig and like, oh, come on, and starts charging forward in the way a Minotaur
I
might.
figure a Minotaur, Barbarian, he's charging down the front,
Do a perception check for me, Asterion.
That's 11 plus. Yeah, he's got a passive perception 11, but I don't think that's the right one.
Yeah, just roll a d20 and add 1 to it.
Wisdom. So yeah, he's got a +1 to that. So yeah, 12 in total.
12 in total. All right, so Asterion is a bit distracted, stepping nobly in front of Talithar and Torrig, and it kind of pats Torrig on the shoulder. Oh, go. You go. And he steps in front and right into the battle axe. So that's going to be a 21 to hit him.
Okay, I think he's got an 17 armor class.
Nice.
So that'll hit. So that's going to be 12 points of damage. The second swing. Okay. So that is only 8 points of damage that time. And action surge. Ooh,
Wow.
that's a nat 20.
Ooh.
So about that cannon fodder.
That's only 10 more points of damage, and the last shot. All of these are reckless, by the way. Okay, that's just a regular. And 9 more points of damage.
I'm sorry, who did this?
So as you're stepping out the door, there's this flurry of activity. Everybody's going out. There's the half-elf's like, up. And Talithar and Torrig go to open the door, and Asterion opens the door and steps in front, just as the battle axe swung by this massive half-orc just unloads all 4 swings on this Minotaur. Is the Minotaur still standing?
He is.
All right.
Gosh darn.
That's a tough...
Is he still charging?
He might want to rage.
So this is a surprise round. And
Really?
So
that's
given
still
I've
part of
used
the surprise.
template,
I'm
the
gonna say,
template has the Minotaur with 95 points of health, but that's 10d12. Do you want me to just cut that in half for balance sake?
yeah, I think that's a bit much.
Yeah, it feels like a bit much.
Yeah.
So that would give him 47. So yeah, he's close to death.
Do we roll perception against like the surprise round?
It was behind a closed door, so there's not much to be able to see. They were just lying in wait.
Okay.
Let's say, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go. Okay, Can I get everyone, and I mean everybody, to do a Constitution saving throw? I think it's gone.
Just a quick question: would the ethereal sight see through the walls, or that's a no-go?
I think ethereal gets blocked by enough stone, and these walls are pretty thick. So
Okay.
I don't think there would have been a lot of warning there.
What's your charisma modifier?
I'm sorry? Who?
Hilda, what's your charisma modifier? Timely?
My charisma modifier is +4.
Great. Okay, because Rook is near you, but anyone near Talithar gets also +4.
So I think between the two of them, everybody gets +4.
Okay.
Because Talithar is second, and Hilda's third last, or fourth last. So everybody's kind of sandwiched in between. So I'd spread the paladin love. Everybody gets +4.
And
Everyone has +4.
And Rook has advantage.
Nice. Well, Rook doesn't breathe, so Rook doesn't even need to roll. As this whole area begins to just turn, this greenish mist comes up from the floor and just starts to breathe it in and starts choking and coughing. As Stinking Cloud is cast.
Poison related?
Sure, yeah, it's poison. So you would have advantage as a dwarf. Hilda, too.
And that's Constitution, right?
Yep.
Isolt got a 28, and Frizzle got
pass.
a 22.
Both pass, as you're both like covering your noses and trying to rush out of the room. You hear some chanting and almost low throat purring from the other room. And this horrible stench begins to, as the Tabaxi has cast something. She's a little bit further beyond. You can pick out just through the kind of 15-foot wide hallway, 20-foot high, and they're about 10 feet back, except the half-orcs right in just beside the door. Then about 10 feet back is the Tabaxi, and a little bit further back is a halfling and a what looks like a mangy dog. All right. How'd you do, Elias, on your con save?
He got a 3. While he was rushing down, though, because I didn't get a chance to speak,
But he gets a +4.
Yeah, it's 7 total. But
That's
I
a
wanted
fail,
to cast
so you-
Mage Armor,
Nice. I'll you have that up.
and then
As you-
activate his Boots of Levitation as well.
Sure. So
Hey.
those are both active. But you are gagging and retching, just puking your guts out. You didn't even bend over to throw up. It's just like all over Jalen's back. Or actually, it's over Torig's back. He's in front of you. Shu, how'd you do?
Shu got a 9. I don't actually know if I'd be close enough for the paladin thing, right? Like,
You're close
Hilda's
enough to
like-
this
Hilda.
logistically doesn't sound like it lines up.
Hilda's
Hilda's
right
near the back,
near the
so-
back.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
there's 2 paladins.
Yeah.
Sweet, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Well, so that puts me at like 13, I think it is,
Yep,
right?
you pass.
+4, you said?
Wait, hold on. 13 is a fail. So Shu begins to retch and gag. Cranky, how'd you do?
Yeah, 16.
Nice. You pass. Frizzle passed. Izzle passed. Graham, did you roll for Graham and Hilda?
Yeah, Graham is the 22 and Hilda is 24.
Nice. Both
That's
pass. All right. And Jalen, did Jalen pass?
He got an 18.
Yeah,
Total.
that's a pass. So some of you are incapacitated by the gagging, stinking cloud that now inhabits this section of the hallway. All right. We'll just resolve the last little bit here, and then we'll be good to go. The nasty... yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's do that. How mean am I? I'm mean. I'm feeling mean.
Oh.
Nice, proud of you.
Actually, that's a touch spell, so no, not that one. The halfling
Uh.
steps forward, and even worse, goes,
Good idea. I recognize you.
and he looks and locks eyes with, who's the first one he would recognize? Probably Rook, and then Hilda. And the halfling
Oh.
extends their tiny little hand, and this pulse of this roiling greenish blue energy begins to roll down. There's a 20-foot sphere of poisonous yellow-green, centered and moving backwards down the hall towards you, just in front of where the half orc is swinging. It's going to miss the very first person, so it's not going to hit. Actually, you know what? I think I'll just do an Arcana check to see if it targets properly. Yeah, that's going to target properly. Constitution saving throws for everybody except for Empty and Gex.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay.
No.
You get the
19
paladin
for me.
bonus.
Oh, then a 23. And
You are looking
31
for
for Isolde.
17.
anyone who didn't succeed on a 16.
What? Jesus Christ.
Althar got a 19 and Rook got a 28.
Okay, both of them are fine. Well, hold on. We'll do with you in a second. I think it's half damage. Yeah, half
17
damage.
for
All right.
Oof.
It is a
17.
poison effect. So if that comes into effect, or if you don't
Well, I
breathe.
guess-
So again, Rook doesn't need to roll.
Oh, okay. It doesn't break.
I think because it's a good thing Hilda failed on that because she got resistance to poison.
There you go.
Ah,
Shu got a 16. Is it like, do I need to meet or exceed on a saving throw?
Meets beats. So you're good. Shu passed. So you're going to
Okay.
take half. So that is 12, 19, 20. Is that? I think I'm reading this right. That's 20. Wait, hold on. 12. Let's do this again. 12 and 8 is 20. And so that's 23 points for anyone of poison damage. For anyone who didn't pass, half of that. So let's say I'll be kind and say 11 points of damage for those who did succeed. And Rook, you don't take any damage because you don't breathe.
Great.
That kills the Minotaur. He's at 0.
I don't know. Did my nat 20 count for anything on that? Any extra resistance?
He's not
Unfortunately,
dead, but
no.
he just falls down unconscious.
11.
There's this pulse as the mist almost looks like little tiny skulls when you breathe it in. And the halfling, how it casts it is he tugged on this pipe and then breathed out this putrid yellow-green roiling cloud that proceeds to roll down the hall with cloud kill. All right.
So, absorb elements, when it says it gives me resistance, does that absorb all of it or just half of it? How does that work?
Half.
Half? Okay. I'm going to cast absorb elements then.
Nice.
So that'll give me 1d6 poison on my next attack, and I would only take 10 then, or 5 then, I assume.
Perfect. Yeah.
I don't know if it stacks because it gives you resistance, right? You already have resistance.
I allow doubling
I have
resistance. Half and half.
No.
We here in Canada, we believe in our half and halves. Double.
Fair enough.
Half and half.
I prefer double.
Just wait.
Oh yeah, I do have resistance. Yeah, you're right. I have advantage and resistance. So wait, do I get resistance and then resistance again? How does
Yeah,
that
so you
work?
get quarter.
Oh, were you not already
Oh, I do,
factoring
like,
your
2 damage
Dwarven
then.
resistance? That's
Like,
funny. I didn't realize.
All right.
Okay,
That
that's
is the
great.
surprise round as they're standing there and they look and the half orc's like, you're not going anywhere. All right. I believe it is kind of late. Do we want to dive into this for a little bit? I can keep going, but if we want to stop here,
I gotta go.
If,
yeah,
if
that's
we
fair.
do,
You're an
I
hour
have
past.
to.
Thank you, Timely.
Yeah, I would have to take a break and attend to my creatures because it is past their potty time.
For the sake
Potty
of
time.
Puppy Potty and Timely's early meeting, we're going to pause here as you are face to face with an old adversary hired by
Oof.
the mage tower that you work for? This place is full of holes. Just like
before
this.
we tell me
Wild.
what my identify under.
I think if we're being like practical, a lot of us are probably just running straight forward and trying to get out of this,
Stench.
So we're tripping
Poison
over each
cloud.
other and
Yeah.
gagging.
Just like we cinematically speaking, we just see everyone trying to like get out of this poison cloud and running down the hall, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's gonna be lots of
Presumably, it's
attacks
not
of
where they
opportunity.
cast it from, or they'd be poisoned.
Yeah.
It does not discriminate. Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
So Balin has only just now, as the poison begins to bubble up, looking at this little tiny gemstone. In your case, it was a golden one, and it has this glint. And inside, you see this eye, and it winks at you. A large reptilian dragon eye staring out at you from within this crystal. Shatter it, and aid will come. For a time. You've got a summoning stone,
Yeah.
each attuned to a dragon. So if y'all ever wanted to fly a dragon as a mount before, yeah, that just happened. Of course, none of you know that, but Balin does.
It's one use case.
Let's hope
So-
that dwarf lives to tell you.
Yeah.
And that
Let's hope.
is, I think, where we're going to stop for the night. We're going to be back,
Seems right.
not for the next 2 weeks for me, but I think Steve's running a game at some point. So
we'll
tune
run
in.
it.
So go follow his channel. I don't know if he's going to have to fight to make that happen. But thanks, everybody. That was fun. I did not want
Make
to
it
stop.
happen.
But
Yeah. It was fun.
that was
It
all
was
over the
good.
place.
Yeah, it was so fun that I couldn't even bring to tear myself away.
Yeah, I apologize in advance for your terrible morning.
Thank you.
I will
It's always the way.
Yeah. But we will be back next week, and we do need a title for tonight's episode.
You can think about it. Let me read the ad before the
Ooh.
credits.
Yes,
Think of a
please.
title.
All right.
Nice.
So think of that, and we'll cut back in just a moment. Let's go check out. Are you ready for that right now, Steve?
Yeah, do it.
Let's do it.
I'll wait till you get the card set up over there. It looks pretty.
There we go. Go for it. Good enough.
This week's episode sponsored by the University of Tasvarell, home of the Tigers. The University of Tasvarell is a global leader in research, teaching, and the immersive student experience. With diverse and extensive areas of study organized around intimately nerdy experiences. Courses in artificing, bardsmanship, blood hunting, clerical studies, martial arts, religious studies, archery and tracking, sorcery, medicine, and hermaphroditic history studies. Where the world comes to think, comes to learn and hopefully pass their courses, there are 100 faculty to help shape young minds. Those who actually graduate can be assured of promising career in their chosen field, rather than wallowing in self-pity and being forced to work as mercenaries or hookers, or worse, mercenary hookers. Make something of your life. Complete your C-adjacent studies today at the University of Tasvarell, home of the Tigers.
So what you're describing is bards, right? Don't be a bard.
Don't be a
Don't
bard.
be a bard. Don't be a bard. Don't drop out of school and be a bard.
Cut to Hilda's parents, who are reading her letter, and like tears streaming down their face. But the father's face, and the mother comes up, lays her hand on his shoulder, and says, I mean, it could be worse. It could be worse. She could be a bard.
Yeah. I think
Smash.
the episode title could probably be the Tasvarell Welcoming Committee.
Ooh. That's pretty tight.
excellent.
That is pretty
Very
tight.
good.
Tasvarell Welcoming Committee for the win. All right. Well, thanks very much, everybody. Oh, hey, I didn't see chat. I apologize. My bad. Thank you, Darcy, for paying attention chat when I could not. But we will see you in a couple of weeks. Not next week. Not the next week for me. But the week after that, we will continue this and we'll see what happens. Because you got minions, you got fodder, you got gemstones, and you got...
Well, since we're talking about scheduling, we will see you on my channel on Thursday, though, correct? For Hot Springs and Hydras?
How about that? I think I have to
Yeah?
leave town that night, so I'm traveling. Oh, I did promise a travel story.
That's a shame.
So stick around for the credits.
Oh, yeah.
For my ridiculous
Yes,
travel
story. Very good. All right.
I'll just give everyone let's just say, fun with the TSA. And thank you to the random man who was brave enough to grab my balls. We'll talk about that in a moment. It's not what you think. All right, we'll be back. Just for some after
It's
chat
not
for
what I
those
think.
who gotta go. I mean, Darcy's setting the bar real high. Like, you all don't have art for your characters yet.
Uh-huh.
And
That was some
so
double
is the
deuce action.